Oh, what a good gift.
What a sook. What a bloody sook.
Oh.
I didn't like this.
Yeah, that's fucked. If I could raise one eyebrow, I would.
He does the smell as well.
Cutting from Josh. Cutting to me.
Double back in anger.
Oh,
got it.
you got it.
Yes, I did.
Puppy mummy.
Say one more time.
Puppy mummy.
Thank you.
There you go.
No.
Oh, no.
Way down.
Just look up a bit. Look where you're going.
Oh, shit.
It's okay.
You can't
It's
move
okay.
your camera?
It's okay. I can.
To morning.
Have you picked up?
Welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday, the 29th of June, live from the Loki Studios. Ow. Starring, he's kind, funny, handsome, and I pinky promised that I would be nice to him today. It's Gus! She is the new CEO of OceanGate and is ready to reveal a submarine that will implode on purpose. It's Steph! He has just come out of his 10-year stint in jail after letting all the, in his words, most sexual animals out of the zoo. It's Peter! And you might know him from his starring role on the hit reality TV series My House is Haunted by a Ghost with the Fattest Dump Trunk I've Ever Seen. It's Josh! Featuring friend of the show, Nat! And me, the best dancer here, it's Ruby!
Can't prove her wrong. All right, prove it.
Tonight on the show, we have been playing some games, and there are some flops that are just waiting to be celebrated. And at some point, someone's going to tell a freaking porcupine.
Holy shit.
It's lie time.
Was it my intro? Is that the line?
No, that was the
pinky
one
swore.
truth.
You
That was
pinky
the
swore.
I did one truth.
I saw it happen.
lies.
Pete, did you know how to lock a pinky swear?
What the
We
fuck?
did.
No, you can't.
I know.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
you can.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
We can do it.
Oh my god, do it.
This way?
I've never seen a locked
Hang
pinky
on.
swear.
There. And then we lock it.
Oh, that's so cute.
You kiss the thumbs
What
to
is
lock.
that lock?
I don't know.
You kiss
You
the
just
thumbs.
put
Is that
your thumbs together.
like a thumbprint scan?
Yeah.
Yes. And then
It's
facial
biometrically locked now.
and then facial recognition.
I guess that makes sense with the pinky promising.
yeah, pinky
Yeah.
and a little thumb lock.
You gotta kiss it?
You have
You
the
gotta,
most.
well, okay, that's a usual one. So you got to kiss it, but like I was
Wait,
I don't know.
Post-COVID, there's no like.
That's a bad idea.
No, fair enough.
That's a huge idea.
Yeah, huge
will not
idea.
be unlocked.
So and anytime
big.
we all have to make a promise to each other, we got to. Can
We
you
could
do a
be- we could be
four-way?
chain on.
No, but this is just making me want to like figure out a complicated secret handshake.
Yeah,
I have always wanted
Post show.
I've always wanted to.
Post
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 show,
show
we're gonna do a
handshake.
handshake.
My God, he's a genius.
That's good.
Stick around.
Stick around,
kids.
guys.
Yeah.
That's the kind of content you can only get by paying for.
Gus has the most debonair singular curl hanging at the front at the
Do I?
moment.
Oh, you do too.
Isn't that like that's an Adventure Guy movie curl?
I have been adventuring.
Some Clark Kent shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big glasses.
Miscast.
I'm going back to hairy mode.
Are you?
You
Yeah.
are? You're
I'm
in
gonna go
you're
full.
pretty close?
Shifting into hairy mode.
I'm gonna bring it all back.
Nice for winter. Keeps your neck warm.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah. Got
I gave you
beard.
mine.
Yes. I came back with
This
Pete, you
and that.
shaved. You went, yeah. I went, why?
I did. I just trimmed all my facial hair before I did the Banjo-Kazooie thing, and you were like, that was a mistake. And then I got a haircut the next
What?
day.
I
So
didn't say that.
you said that was a mistake.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
So mean to him
Because
too.
you said you well
she was like,
not
as
in
if I
those
would be that much of a bitch.
not in those precise words.
Maybe I was.
You
actually.
said you look like Banjo. Well, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
So it was implied
yeah,
that
'cause
I'd
you
made
look
a
like
mistake.
Oh, that's very
But now-
different.
No, but it's tonally.
That's very
It was-
different.
there was
And then I explained that
tonal
he looked like
disappointment.
a bit of a cub before, but now he looks more like an otter.
Ottery.
Otter.
Yeah.
That's the one I. Yep.
That's the one you.
Because we all know
told
he could never be a
I
king.
couldn't be a
Okay.
bear, but I could be an otter.
Yeah, but you're also like.
You can be
we're
whatever you want
talking
to be.
about. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that term originally. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I
cool.
think
Do
you're
you guys
both
remember
otters.
when Twink used to be a character in World of Warcraft that you passed your gear onto?
A twink?
Yeah.
I think just Twink.
The
There was a
character's name
character
was
called Twink. It wasn't.
No. A twink was a word for like a character that, like a second character that you had that you like stacked up with all of your high level gear from your main character.
Okay.
No.
Ah. So it's an alternate character role you had.
This is really grinding.
That feels like
grinding
it was
a halt to the show.
probably in
That
the
was-
era of like pretty rampant homophobia. And
That's
it
a mule.
could've-
No, it was totally a twink. It was like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is-
it wasn't. It
was
wasn't
probably
not
not
to
a good
not
use
to
of the
hold your
term.
gear. It was like the character leveled fast because you gave it all of your high level gear from your other character, so it like excelled.
Was
quickly.
the etymology in game from somewhere not bad?
Yes, in
as-
Destiny, your Titan is a twink. Yes, multifish.
And see,
Okay.
the thing is like
Words can mean more
based
than
on
one
that
thing.
alone. That's
Alright.
how I know that like every twink that I've met in my life has been magical in some kind of way.
And carrying high level
And
gear.
you've given them armor.
When I
I've
heard
given
the
them so many of my
term, when I
things.
heard the term used in the other context, I was like, huh? It's true. I remember the term. Thank you, Elsie.
Elsa
No, we
was
said we
there.
might remember it. We're just double checking it wasn't really derogatory in the game sense that people have
No.
been using it. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
I
Now
had
We
to
learned
give you
something
a quick-
today.
Yeah.
We like to
What did we
learn
learn?
here.
Well, we learned that.
Go back to it.
So we learned that a twink carried your high level gear for you.
No. That would be a mule.
I've
no,
learned
we
nothing.
learned that we learned that all
it's
twinks
a
are
You
character.
magical.
power leveling a character by giving them high level gear.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know.
Another
He's just
word
making
for
me
it.
sound dumb by saying it bad.
No, I
That's
didn't say
how
it
was
bad.
Barley.
Another word for it is
That was Barley, Gus.
in other games.
Nat
they're
is
Smurfs.
hiding in her hoodie.
Is it what? Sorry, Josh?
Smurf is the word
Smurf.
in some other games. It's
Yeah.
Smurf.
Okay. Yeah. I think I've
Smurfs
heard
can
that
be
before.
twinks.
But Smurf, you're typically taking
all
a high level of skill to a lower level account as opposed to putting
Power leveling, yeah.
power leveling. Yeah.
MiddleCee says, unlike in Final Fantasy XIV, where your main is a twink, and I like to think she said that with a wink, like this.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah. Now, how was Barley?
Barley
Gus?
was great. Thanks for
Yeah?
asking. I had a lovely time. I
You look
went.
very tan.
I feel very tan and quite
do.
warm. I had a great time. I went and hung out with my family, got some good family time with the nibblings, my nephew and my niece.
Yep.
And it was equal parts relaxing and stressful. Fish ate my feet. You all saw that. I'm sorry.
I drew a picture of it on the blackboard. It's behind Josh right now.
Can we say that? Josh, if you just... Oh, there it is.
There we
am I.
go.
That's exactly it.
There's
And that's my face when
Chad
it happened.
Pocketees here as well. Yeah.
Amazing.
Chad Pocket.
And Chad Pocketees here.
Speaking of which, I actually saw like a mum or an aunt or someone do a quick secret handshake high five thing with their kid when they were like, "Hey, can we go and play?" She's like, "Yeah, no worries, okay." Boom, boom, boom. And they walked off. I was like,
Like a Disney movie.
I just want to have kids so I can come up with like secret handshakes and those high five things with them.
That would be sick.
Other reasons too, but that would be the most.
Mostly so you learn the routine to down by the banks of the hanky-panky
Panky,
where the
Fine,
bullfrogs
I'll continue.
jump. I really saw
Yeah.
people
That
do it.
was-
I was never invited to partake.
That was super
Post-show.
simple. I can teach it to you.
Post-show.
It's like three. It's like three
Hey,
positions.
hey, would you like a little bit of hanky panky? Stick around for the post show. It's not what you think.
This week, Peter and I saw the Hans Zimmer a tribute to Hans Zimmer concert at the Opera House.
How's that?
It was a celebration of Hans Zimmer's music.
Sad I missed this. Was
what
this
was
with
the music?
friend of
Dan
the show,
Golding.
Dan Golding?
Yep.
Yep.
And the
was?
rest of the
Love
art
Dan.
of the score team.
Andrew Pogson.
Correct?
And who was the conductor? Nick. Forget surname.
I do too.
But a wonderful conductor.
Very great.
He was a fucking star.
He's insane.
he's
So have you
so
listened
good.
to, if you haven't, the Art of the Score podcast, where they all go through movie scores? Nick sits there on a keyboard, and as they like talk through musical
Nicholas Buck,
theory,
thank you, Muso.
Nicholas Buck, he just goes, oh, a little bit like this, and just plays by ear, plays like amazing, and then does like the science of it too. It's like, well, that'll be a reverse arpeggio. You're like, oh, fuck off, I've done nothing with my life.
It was such a great. I have a
playing
real.
chopsticks.
I have a real respect for and like something that I would love to see more of, and I guess like shift in the culture a little bit is like accessibility around stuff like that. And by that I mean just in terms of breaking things down and understanding them. Listening to the podcast obviously is a great way to
a
do
really good
that.
one.
Yep.
But you know, the Opera House is trying to sort of make more. You know, they do a lot of film and other content around video games and stuff like that to kind of bring in people who aren't going to go and necessarily go see Wagner or whatever. But like to have things broken down for you and then played live by an orchestra, because they would present you with a piece of music and be like, okay, this is a like a traditional pirate like sailor's hornpipe of the time, and it may not sound anything like the version, or it may not sound anything like the Pirates of the Caribbean theme that you know, but let's shift it into a minor key, and then you'd go,
So they did all this stuff on stage.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, oh,
and he'd be like, let's
awesome.
hear a few
So
bars
they-
of that.
they
And
It was
did-
the
basically
orchestra
a
would do
version
it.
of their podcast done live on stage.
Instead of him doing it on the piano, it was the full orchestra.
So
that would
bummed
do
I
it.
missed it. I didn't get back.
And
in
there was
time.
even a moment when he was like, I think it was Inception or something, where he was like like, let's just shift this down a note. And the whole audience, the whole orchestra were playing the certain song in a key. And then they all went, and shifted it. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I recognize it. And they tell you the whole pathway of how he gets there to kind of inform. It was really, really incredible. It reminds me of one time I went to go see, I saw an exhibition at the NGV in Victoria. And it was like a bunch of art from the Hermitage. And there was a thing at the start that was like, hey, if you have kids, there's like some QR codes that you can scan and it'll give you some more like basic breakdown of like what all these art pieces are. And I was like,
kids, I'm going to scan for you.
I wouldn't mind that information.
Secret handshake later? Yeah, they know who I'm talking to.
And so it was just like, it really clearly broke down all of the like symbolism and the metaphors and the reasons why things were the way they were. And I was like, this is good info. Like most of the time they just show you like artist, oil on canvas.
I did like, studio arts for my VCE and I like studied a lot of the masters and all that. I've forgotten it all, but I went to the Louvre in Paris when I met up with my family and I bought the little like thing you put in your ear and I walked around with it because we were like, someone should get it. And they missed that I did that. So I'm like, yes, that's what you're looking at there is a classical style that uses a smattering effect that whoever the artist was. And my mum is like, I'm so glad you studied that. And I'm just like, whoop. At the end of it,
did you sell it? You were like, this is, I think was originally a lot darker before
Monet, I believe. But yes, it was, yeah.
Before they cleaned it, I think in 1967 was it?
And then Dad looks at the plaque, he's like, Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I think it's just, it's like a really wonderful thing to be able to, because classical music and I guess, high art can be a bit siloed and...
Did they play the Rain Man score?
They did. They played AQ.
What? From the Rain Man?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's my favorite fucking score ever and everyone hates it. It's all like synthesizers and 80s crap and it's so good.
They did Driving Miss Daisy.
Really?
That's a bop.
I didn't know that was him. Amazing.
And then they played a theme from The Holiday, which has Jack Black in it, singing the theme from Driving Miss Daisy.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
Well,
There you go.
What did you do?
Gus, you went to Bali. You two took in some high art.
Went for culture.
And I had a hemorrhoid. So let's kick things off with a little bit of backup.
They have great creams for that.
I just get over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Thank you.
No one
Not a
fucking
single
saw
one
it.
of them were watching.
No one saw
How
it.
long were you sitting on that one, Ruby?
Like, literally?
It was like a play on words.
Yeah. No, literally?
Yeah.
Yeah. All my life.
Sure.
It's genetic, actually.
Hey guys,
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's time for a little bit of backup.
Oh, there's a bit. Does he just drive away safely?
It's a tree.
Tree now.
It's a tree now.
That
It's a
doesn't make
tree
any
full of maple
sense.
syrup.
Why? Because of sap. Welcome to a little bit of backup.
Oh, you didn't know what the sap was. I
didn't
remember.
know.
It was
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
I couldn't work out what to replace
That's
it
so
with.
random. That's so fucking random.
Do you guys
They just
get
should have
it?
backed up and just kept backing up.
So,
Yeah.
do you know,
Not hit anything.
Infinite-
it was 9:30 and it was
backup.
all embedded
Yeah.
comps. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just going to make it hit something else.
Did you draw that tree though?
Yeah.
It's a great tree. Very nice autumnal leaves.
There it is. You love that word now, don't you?
Yeah, it was attached.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of backup. It's brought to us by EvilSpyBoy. All right. EvilSpyBoy is bringing his generosity to Food Bank Australia, and you can bring some generosity as well by visiting foodbank.org or just put !Spyboy in the chat and you'll get a link through to be able to donut. Donut.
Donut.
Go and donut, everyone.
Donuts a type of
You
food.
should.
It is a type of food.
Oh, it doesn't do it all the way
there's
out.
none
That's
off.
probably good. We'll get
Probably a
started
good thing.
What was that? It looked like you
Never
unzipped
mind.
your pants.
No, can we do it one more time? And I can do this.
Got it.
That was so
Samurai
slow.
sword.
They were so far. They were way off.
Whip my dick
No,
out.
I thought that was. I thought that
The
was
timing
pretty
was
spot on.
way off.
Yeah. I'll get it better by the end of the show.
He's impossible to please.
Peter, back me up.
Damn it.
What's going on?
Oh.
That's not a swing.
Yeah, baby.
Wait, do
You
me,
just
do
needed
me,
to
do
do
me,
it
do
as
me.
well.
Yeah.
Guys, we've
Ready?
got more
Ready?
throughout the show.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You ready?
What was that?
So it's like-
I was going to do a
Dangerous.
It was dangerously close to something else.
No, get to it.
the hand was angled in a way that was safe, but it was dangerous.
It was meant to be a sword. I was going to do a fist, and then I was like, "Oh, that's like weird and
It was
sexual." So I changed it at the last minute.
I can't do anything sexual. What's the next thing I can do? Oh, something fascist, maybe.
It was perpendicular.
Fashionable.
Oh
Oh wow. Okay.
It was on the side.
What's in the news, Pete? Please.
Yeah,
Are we on the front page
Our
tonight?
news comes from Dave Smith.
That's my boy.
That's your
That's
boy.
me, Papa.
Because the Steam Deck
Should've
is
done the
available
fist.
for purchase through the Woolworths online shopping site.
Woolies.
Yeah.
There's no freshness.
That's Coles.
Like Woolies.
Get out of town.
So,
I did a Woolies order just an hour ago, and I checked. It's on there.
there you
Yeah.
go. You can buy the Steam Deck on Woolworths website. However, as Dave Smith points out and clarifies, it requires some clarification off the bat because yes, you can buy it on the Woolworths website, but it's not Woolworths doing the selling.
It says underneath it, it's from mydeal.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Everyday Market is a platform that online retailers like Woolworths use and Bunnings. And so third-party sellers can also attach themselves to that market and it shares that information through those websites. So that's why that's appearing on that. And it's still grey market.
It's not going to arrive in a little paper bag with your other groceries.
Well, I just checked. Uber does deliveries from Woolies, so I'm just checking if you can buy a Steam Deck with like from Uber.
Eats.
You can't.
Okay,
Uber
so
Eats will not let you get a Steam Deck.
The piping hot tea is that Bunnings does something similar called like in the Bunnings marketplace, and basically third-party sellers can sell stuff through the Bunnings website. And
I would say like more than a third of the stuff on the Bunnings website is
Is
not
the
in store.
marketplace stuff.
It's kind of frustrating because you're like, oh, I'll go and pick it up.
Yeah.
No, none of this is there.
Yeah.
well, that's the thing. There's gaming PCs being sold through Bunnings marketplace.
Really?
So you can technically buy a
That's
gaming
such a step
PC
up because
on Bunnings.
recently Bunnings were like, we do pet food now and pet stuff, and people were losing their minds. And I'm like, that's not a big departure. That I thought they already did. Gaming PCs from Bunnings?
Yeah.
Do they beat it by 10%?
I hope so.
We should change our ad. It's a boxy ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I if you scroll down on that article, I'm actually mentioned.
What?
Because I was the one who sent that scoop to David.
Oh,
The scoop.
shit.
Because I still can't let go of my old job.
Can I say,
Yeah.
someone who doesn't need a Steam Deck but is still feeling the draw of an item
my
that
God,
I
me
couldn't
want
get
to.
for so long, and when I could, it was overpriced because it was being shipped from America or shipped from wherever. And then the closer it gets, bit by bit, to being able to be
There I am.
purchasable, is like I can feel myself going, no, you don't need this. But the second I can order it from Uber Eats or something for some stupid amount of money, or Woolies or something, I'm like,
You want the novelty
So-
experience.
I will buy one.
It's worth noting as well that a lot of people have been excited about the Steam Deck. Some people have had them imported and shipped across and found their own ways to get them into the country. There have been some listed on JB Hi-Fi's and Amazon Australia before, but a lot of that stuff has been, I think all of that stuff so far has been basically grey market selling.
Yeah.
So there are you might be fine buying that, but you're not getting
You're not
Valve's
getting
warranty and
Yeah,
all the
right.
things that you can expect to get when you buy something from
Interesting.
the company itself.
I've also noticed-
So maybe this is exciting for you and you want to jump on the opportunity, but it's also worth being aware that Valve are not selling the console in the country yet, and you're backdooring it in still, though someone's done it for you.
Is there
Also,
any
if it
way to
breaks
get
it,
it
fuck.
in Australia to keep the Steam warranty and all that stuff?
No.
Because the thing is like Steam doesn't have, well, Valve doesn't have any
Locals.
local official repairers in
Yeah, okay,
Australia.
right.
So there's nowhere that people would
Can't
be
go
able
back
to
to
send
Woolies
them
and be like,
if there was a mistake.
I've crashed my
I bought,
Steam
I
Deck.
bought
Yeah.
a smartwatch from Kogan once. That was a mistake. Yeah.
I have a
so they
limit
went
to
wrong with
what
it,
I will-
and then I took it to Samsung, and I was like, "Can you fix?" And they were like, "You didn't buy this from us." And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Haha, sorry." It's like,
But it's a Samsung watch, right?
yeah, but it was like from
Yeah.
another country, I think, and
Yeah, well,
A
that
lot of
stuff
people
sucks.
in the chat have pointed out something since I've been, again, trying to resist the urge to buy a Steam Deck because I don't need one, but I would like one, is just I wasn't
Consumer
aware, but just the amount of other different sort of handheld PCs. That market is kind of blown up a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
since
yeah,
the Steam Deck. And
Yeah.
I've watched heaps of like
Neo,
IGN and
the
stuff.
Rogue,
Yeah,
the Rogue
and there are ones that
Ally.
are arguably quieter, have better battery power, have more oomph, are better as like having actual Windows running on them as well, so they have more versatility and play other games. So I went down a massive rabbit hole of looking at all the other ones, and by the end of that, it had stopped me from buying the Steam Deck, and I had too many to choose from, so I couldn't buy them. And I was like, oh, thank God. I found a way
got
to
it out of
stop
your
my
system.
needing to buy any of
For
this
me,
stuff.
anytime I get a little bit excited about it, I think I'm going to install a SNES emulator on that bad boy so fast.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm buying this thing just to play Donkey Kong Country.
That's what gets me. Is like the Steam Deck is arguably like the most true to form way that you can emulate Wii U games. And I know that's so specific, but
Like
like,
that only you would bring that to this conversation.
but it's cool.
I just got to play
Wii
Zombie
U
U
games.
again.
Because the thing is like there is no official toy, but like there's no true to form way to emulate Wii U games because you need that like
Well,
handheld
Maybe that's
touch
for the
screen.
best, you know?
I'm such.
Maybe
I'm
that's
a Wii U
natural
tragic.
selection.
I am a Wii U tragic. I, honest to God, truly in my heart of hearts, believe that the best way to play Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker is via the Wii U.
I gave mine to
Comfortably.
someone who didn't have a TV in their apartment, and I was like, here's my old one. You can play Breath of the Wild on it because it still came as cross-gen.
Yeah, it did,
And
yeah.
bought them Breath of the Wild and gave them it. So they just had it under their bed, and they just played the whole game on Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
And I was like, I forgot you could do that on that console.
It was a
without
more
having Switch.
comfortable long-term gaming pad than
I
the
like.
Switch.
I
Yeah.
agree.
It rocks.
I agree.
I'm just
It
not a
rocks.
handheld gamer. I find it just
So-
generally super uncomfortable.
Speaking of going away recently and buying a Steam Deck, is I just recently bought the Split Pad Pro for my Switch, which are like the slightly bigger. It's like you split a Pro Pad in half and stick it on either side of your Switch, because I felt bad wanting to get a Steam Deck, and so I've upgraded my Switch experience now.
Oh.
So I bought a bespoke case for it, and they are like these chunky ones with grips behind.
Do you have an OLED?
No, that's the one thing I haven't upgraded to
Me
yet.
have
And I
an
just
OLED.
picked yours up today and was like,
Me have OLED.
likey.
Me likey. Me lovey.
And you can buy the extension arms on woolworths.com. So yeah,
Via my deal.
bit odd. We're going to see more and more of this stuff popping up, I'm sure. But yeah, only if you're absolutely desperate for a Steam Deck and you have a lot of disposable income is it worth the
Imagine
risk.
coming
I think.
back from like a 10 p.m. run to the shops for milk, nappies, and a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I didn't have a kid.
They send the one because you're buying it online. They
Nappies
give you the
for
one
me,
that's
baby.
so close to expiring that it's useless as well.
Yeah.
It's like you do not buy milk online because they're like, this got 2 days left.
Yeah. And
That's
at what
before.
point is your fridge going to be like, hey, you're out of milk, you're out of this?
You're out of Steam
You're out of
Deck.
Steam Decks.
Considered a Steam
I mean,
Deck?
you don't have one, so technically you're out of a Steam Deck.
That's true.
I had fun.
Anyway, that's a little bit of backup. Now let's talk about what we've been playing.
Slay.
I had hemorrhoids too.
Oh my god, yeah, they're genetic.
I didn't know that.
Well, the
really?
thing is, it's like I didn't like realize that they
actually?
were a genetic thing.
I thought you would have told me.
we're still talking about hemorrhoids, but like, okay, I didn't realize
Hey,
that
check
they could
this
be
out.
a genetic thing
I don't know.
until like
Steph, come in here.
I don't need to see it, but I'm like, if you're uncomfortable with something
you don't want to see it.
health-wise, I'd
It's
want
not
to know.
good.
I haven't had hemorrhoids.
I'd want to give you a little donut
Yeah.
pillow.
I was going to say it's a donut pillow.
No.
For a second, I thought it was the ring around the neck.
I
I'm like,
told you-
"Nah,
I told you guys my internet
dogs with
search
stitches."
history hemorrhoid story, didn't I?
What?
I told you my internet search history hemorrhoid story.
Post show?
What?
For sure.
Post show.
Let's do some actual game
No, I'd
stuff.
love to hear it. That wasn't.
I'm sure I've told this. Chat will know.
Chat knows my stories.
What we've been playing? It's brought to us by our beloved back pocket Patreon supporter BuriBuri. Yeah,
Timing.
good level of arm holding that you've got there.
Lower than the above
Lower
the
than
horizon.
yeah,
The what?
that was a mistake.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. What we've been playing is brought to us by BuriBuri, and every week we read a weird legal fact in honor of BuriBuri, who is in fact a lawyer herself.
Another fact.
Works in video games IP law, or just IP law in general.
IP law in
IP
general.
law in
IP
general.
law in
Yep.
general. Yeah.
Freely. IPs freely.
I get it.
you.
Yeah. I think it's IP freely. IP.
That's the Simpsons joke, yeah.
Okay.
I free
Um,
Peely.
So I feel like you guys have been like throwing out all these weird, wacky laws from like the 1800s and stuff. I wanted to find a recent, like law that is still active to get today and local. This is an Australian law.
Aussie law.
That is still active at the moment. Still weird, I think. In Victoria, it is an offence to harness or attach your goat or your dog to a vehicle and drive it in or through a public area.
Goat and dog, but not obviously horse is legal,
Yeah,
but goat and dog,
but you could do a cat.
that's it. A series of cats.
Yep.
Sorry, a large amount of cats. Goat's not going to pull you anywhere.
In my home country, goat lot like dog. Duh.
They're pretty close.
I mean, I did
far as
see a
mammals go.
Irish
Both
wolfhound
four
today.
legs.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw an Irish wolfhound today being walked, and I was like, that fucker could pull all of us. Like, it was huge.
But they're quite skinny.
Yeah,
like
they're
they're
not-
tall, but they're slim. I don't think they're like
They're too skinny.
particularly
Saint
powerful.
Bernard,
All right, let's
maybe?
work back. Let's roll it back to goat. What happened? What's the story? Who did this? Who made this a law? Because someone did it, and they went, "We can't have any more of this."
Yeah.
There's too many people getting
So
towed around.
it's fine to like have your take your goat through a public space.
You just
Questionable.
can't harness
You just can't
it to your
harness
car.
it to
You
a
can't
vehicle.
harness it for power.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, maybe people were like chucking a harness on their goat and like kind of. So I'm assuming this is a pickup truck. In my mind palace, of course. In a pickup truck, you got the back. Like putting a harness on their goat. Getting some. What are they called when you hook? And there's
it's
like
like a tow bar?
maybe. So you clink the
like a
the
winch
hooks.
cable.
Yeah, you clink them onto the goat's
Clink.
harness and then clink them onto the car and then you're presenting your goat to the public.
I
And
thought
maybe
that
you're
the
not
goat
allowed
was
to do
pulling
that.
a little carriage and you were in it.
I don't think so.
You
yeah,
know?
I'm with this. Not like it's
Oh,
not
you mean
a-
they're just trailing behind like prisoners?
Yeah, I feel like
law.
this is what you've found here is an example of animal abuse that is an offence.
Oh my god.
That carries a fine.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is like
That's,
going.
yeah.
I just imagined people showing their goat off.
I thought the goat was being
I
driven.
thought it was little horse. I thought it was little goat-drawn carts.
No,
Or,
Stephanie.
I
or-
think it's
or a
more
little
about-
buggy with two dogs in front.
My mum had a
Nah,
goat.
I think it's about.
I think it's
She was
about.
back in
I-
Croatia.
No, hang
My
on.
mum had a pet goat.
Someone in the chat said it's about utes specifically as
Yeah,
well. Like
it's about
putting
utes,
them
the
on
way
the back of
people put
utes and
dogs on the
stuff.
tray.
Dogs in the back.
Yeah.
It's
The
obviously
tray,
happened
that's
often
what it's
enough with
called.
goats that they had to make a goats thing as well.
That's illegal because it's dangerous as hell for the animal.
Yeah.
So
Dogs can fall off the back of the tray.
wouldn't they just say animals in general? Why have they specified
Because you're not putting a
those two?
horse.
You got to
And
float.
you
But
with
what
that.
if you are putting your horse?
Well,
Yeah,
then
horse
that would
goes
be
in
a
a
different
horse goes
offence.
in a
Is
horse
that
float.
not illegal? Or is it just a different...
It'd just be a different
week?
offence.
Let's go back to the document with the
Yeah, let's go
wacky
back
law.
to the fun laws. No animals were harmed during the making of these laws.
Well, I interpreted it differently.
To be fair, the way you read it, I also thought of it as
It's like, that's fun.
an adorable
Yeah.
goat procession. And I was like, why did they stop that? It's
thought
like someone's goat died on the
I
back
was
of you.
like,
Like, oh
at
my
some
god.
point, somebody's had a little carriage, and they've been like, "We gotta stop
A little
that. That's
goat on a
We're
crazy."
going karting.
Float.
Goat karting.
Yeah.
Here comes Meryl
bad.
again with her
Yeah.
little
Oh,
goat-drawn
Not
car.
bad. There's something in that. There's something in goat cart.
I think it's why dogs now they're in like they're in a cage on the back of the ute as well, so they're safe. That's the thing. They have a little cage pushed up against the back of the cab, and the dogs are
Oh, the crate.
safe.
Right.
Crates.
I think they're legal, yeah.
Yes, so that's the legal version of it. Don't pull a cart with a goat.
Put it in the cabin.
In Sydney, they're in a ute. They just have to be tied
You
up
can do
with
it on a
lead.
farm, obviously.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to get your
What if
working
you
dogs
What
back?
if you
Like,
have it sit on your lap and you make it pretend to look like
Right,
it's
back
driving?
face.
Ooh.
Legal and adorable.
Yeah. really
Alright.
good.
With a little hat.
BuriBuri, you're welcome.
Nice.
That's the law.
What have we been playing? Let's start with Ruby, because you were excited about a game that I don't think any of us would be
we're
excited
aware
about.
of.
Fight forever, fight forever.
you-
It's AEW Fight Forever, baby.
You are a legit wrestling fan?
Yes, I love wrestling, man.
Really?
I do. I'm a big
How are you
wrestling
just learning
head.
this about her? It's all she talks
He's
about.
been away during all of these conversations.
I love
true.
wrestling. I'm a big fan of like AEW in particular. I've found has kind of like been the type of wrestling that I've been very, very into. So AEW Fight Forever. It's developed by Ukes, who are responsible for like some of the old school wrestling games like No Mercy, and WCW and WO. they're the old hats when it comes to making wrestling games, and it's being published by THQ Nordic. THQ were well known for publishing all the old school wrestling games. So
We should have been playing this today.
Totally.
We really should have.
This is us before the show.
Yeah, Bedazzle. They made the WWE games up until 2K19.
Right.
So they're old hats when it comes to wrestling games, and when it came to the first wrestling game that AEW was ever going to release, it seems like they were very much going for old school wrestling game. It is a pick up and play. It's so easy to get into, and I would very casually you can hit people with chairs. The weapons selection of AEW Fight Forever is fantastic. It is so funny. It's just really.
What weapons?
So you got chairs, you got tables.
What's the weirdest one?
I've got an exploding. What's the word? Exploding.
Firework?
Yeah, it's a baseball bat, but it's also got what's like the spiky.
I don't think there's a word.
What's the spiky metal?
Barbed wire?
Yeah, exploding barbed wire baseball bat.
Exploding barbed wire.
I've got an exploding barbed
That's not
wire baseball
regulation.
bat that you can hit people with.
Yeah.
Any witches' hats?
No.
Bicycle?
I think.
Yakuza.
Skateboard. You can
Yeah.
skate.
You can
you
actually be on the
skate
skateboard?
into the game.
Amazing.
You can skate into the ring, skate across the ring, and hit people with your skateboard.
I heard they don't have the full walk-ins though. Isn't that like half the thing?
You have a whole entrance.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. The best thing is you get to completely customize your entrance.
That's
my
sick.
God.
Completely
That's pretty
customize
sick.
your entrance. You get to choose your entrance song. You get to choose your entrance moves.
Licensed
Go
music?
to the doctor.
So it's I think some of the music is licensed.
Sure.
I know that they haven't got Cult of Personality, the entrance song for CM Punk by Living Colour, which is such a good song, and I really wanted to make that my entrance song, but I couldn't. So
And
sad.
this is the campaign. You're making a
This is the
wrestler,
campaign.
and you can.
So this is Road to Elite.
Okay.
Which very interestingly with wrestling games, normally you have to create your wrestler, and that is what you have to play the campaign as your wrestler.
Yeah.
But with Road to Elite, you can make your own wrestler, or you can
having
play
lunch?
through the campaign as a wrestler that already exists
Let's
in CMW.
Plus 60.
I mean,
in
compared to
AEW.
Street Fighter 6, this is tame. So in like the campaign
Totally.
stuff, like
Yeah.
this seems pretty normal.
Sorry,
it
he
is
asked the waiter. Yeah, he made a comment about, is this a sail? Are we going on a boat? Because it's so big. The writing
About
is
the
incredible.
pizza.
So funny because anytime you're dining in a different city, you have a conversation with the waiter, or like one of the other wrestlers comes and it shows the food that you've eaten and how it relates to the city that you're in, which
Sure.
it feels so Yakuza. It feels
Yeah.
so Yakuza. This entire game feels really Yakuza, and it doesn't surprise me considering someone who had a really big say in the creation of this game was AEW wrestler Kenny Omega, who is a big fan of the Yakuza games.
Sure.
And it
Okay.
was even in Like a Dragon Ishin as a collectible card.
Wow. So obviously there's the silly stuff because there is a story here. It's not just go to gym, train, win matches. There's like
But there's also a story of you becoming a big wrestler in AEW. The customization of your wrestler is fantastic.
This is a serious video game.
It's so goofy. It's just fun.
Look, wrestling is low hanging fruit when it comes to like laughing at, because it is an awesome like
that's the thing.
spectator sport and a fun game.
Like people can dunk on wrestling, and I get that. It's a very silly sport, but like the way I see it, it's drag, it's performance,
Totally.
it's fun, and the storylines are always really goofy, especially with AEW. They can either go for a really goofy storyline or an incredibly in-depth and well thought out one, and both of them I love. It's not a perfect game. Like some parts of it look a little funky, like it's a little finicky here and there to control, but like it's fun.
Can I ask, does this sit next to something like obviously WWE is the bigger wrestling label and has a lot more, I would say, like to a layman, like has more identifiable like characters when it comes to wrestling. This is a little more. I don't know either of these people.
They are both from WWE.
Well,
They both came from WWE.
But is this like a sort of pro Evo to FIFA in terms of like this is a bit more for people who might know a bit more about wrestling, or like it's more technique versus?
I think it would
polish?
be I mean, it'd be for wrestling fans, but for AEW fans. But it is a game that from my experience as someone who's had very casual experiences with wrestling games over the years, it's very much a game that you can just pick up and play.
Yeah.
Like the moves that you do are very easy to get a hold of. Like it's an easy game to get into, but still a
Such a
challenge to
funny move.
master.
Yeah.
I've never really been into these games. I feel like EA used to make a wrestling game.
I think so.
If they did, that's when I last played it 15 years ago, and thought they were funny.
Yeah.
UFC have had a couple of games come out, and I feel like maybe the wrestling dev scene were trying to be in that space a little bit,
And they
in
are
recent
super
years and
like,
be
and they're polished and
realistic
technical as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Whereas this looks, and like again, outsider, I think this looks bad. Like I think like it graphically looks awful, and it looks clunky as hell, and the animations are bad.
Really?
But yeah, it looks awful. But it also looks way more fun than the versions of wrestling that have come out in recent years that are trying to be cool, whereas this one is
Well, they're
wearing
trying to be
how
technical, they're
daggy it is on the sleeve,
Yeah.
or at least the theatrics of
Totally.
wrestling on its sleeve.
And I would take this
more.
over UFC any day.
Well, that's
Oh,
the
me too,
thing.
me too,
Like,
absolutely,
I
yeah.
think at the end of the day, like from my experience of playing the game,
Yeah.
it's
Jambalaya.
okay. It's not. It doesn't.
Amazing.
It doesn't look. It doesn't look like WWE.
doesn't look like a modern
It doesn't
game.
look like WWE 2K23. But that being said, it doesn't look like 2K20, which was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, right.
Like it doesn't. It's not the most beautiful looking game, but over the course of time, especially with my experience in like the video game media world, I've found that I'm starting to care less and less about how a game looks and rather just how it plays.
So the comparison I'd make really quickly as well, I mentioned that ice hockey game a few weeks ago, is ice hockey, NHL, is a thing that had a cult-ish like couch multiplayer fun vibe to it, and wrestling has had that through all the way from like regular Nintendo through to where we are now. And I feel like this is a similar thing. They're like, this is more fun to play than any of those other ones, and will, by the looks of it, be everyone sit on the couch and grab a controller and laugh as we just hysterically beat each other up, or like ice hockey got too technical and became a game that people weren't enjoying. Go back to just basic slapping the puck around, and this is just slap another guy around.
Yeah.
But
and that's exactly it.
but I'm like, that's more fun. So good on them for.
When you described it to me as theater, I feel like that I kind of like I got it a bit. Like it's
Well,
about
like, all this
the
stuff is-
soap opera
yeah.
drama.
How much better is it in a
stuff.
game? Because when that's in real life, sorry to any like diehard of true wrestling fans, watching people do that and seeing how like staged it is feels a bit like, oh, okay, that's why I don't like wrestling. But in a game, they're doing it like characters would do it in another game, and you're like, I believe it. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, that being said,
They're not pulling punches
I
in the
would
game.
say it depends on the wrestling organization.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a fun game. That's what I'll say. Like
How-
it's really really fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Like
this?
Is
I
this
love
being
her.
well received by
It's-
wrestling fans?
it's gotten like middling reviews from critics, middling to high. Like it's
Yeah, but I
sitting
don't
in
know,
that
like-
6 to 7.
Yeah, but
out
I'm
of
really
10.
only interested in, because again, I as a me critic go 7,
Yeah.
but it just needs to be good for wrestling fans, and
Yeah.
you seem to adore it.
I really like
As a
it. I
wrestling
think it's
fan.
heaps of fun, and I've seen other people having heaps of fun with it as well.
Yeah.
Doing
I would give it
like it's not a perfect game.
I would
it's
give it-
fun though.
10 out of 10.
Me critic go 7. Thank
Yeah.
you, RK Blob. Put that in the
Amazing.
box.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Nice.
Lots of fun. A game doesn't have to be perfect to be fun. If that's the phrase.
Peter, what have you been playing?
Maybe a 6. I've been playing Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged.
Nice.
It's got an exclamation breaker in there.
Yeah.
I was invited
And
to...
you were giving Ruby shit about wrestling.
I've been playing with toy cars, and it's like,
What the fuck?
so good.
Yeah.
I haven't said anything about the
wrestling's so
game
dumb.
yet.
Anyway, vroom, vroom.
I agree with everything you just said.
Back of the box quote.
I was invited to a preview. This game is not out until October, but you would have seen some coverage over the last couple of days. Actually, from yesterday, an embargo lift on the preview build. And I didn't play a lot of the first Hot Wheels Unleashed, but it was quite well received and definitely lauded for how playful it was and how much it lent into, the toys and the toy line, which includes all this track and all this stuff. So what they wanted to do with the sequel was actually give it some depth, because the first one was very arcadey. This still plays really arcadey, and I really enjoyed the racing of this because it's arcadey, and that's kind of what you want to see. But they've kind of just added a few features for the new game to really kind of give it meat on the bones. I wouldn't say that the new game is this, and again, I've only played a preview, but some brilliant new experience. It is the first game plus a little bit, but that little bit is kind of what would have made that first game a more well-rounded package.
Sure, yeah.
I like that it's 1-to-1. Like
The scale
cars are
of the
little.
maps? Yeah.
And looking at it, it looks
The Hot Wheels are little toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And they
they've
nailed
put you in a adult human environment so
I
you
like
can see the
that.
tininess.
It's like Pikmin.
yeah.
It-
They
it
nailed the
feels like it
lighting in the
takes
first
two.
one too. They made the lighting maps on the cars looked like little die-cast metal, tiny little scratches, imperfections.
Yeah.
that
You know
kind of
what
stuff.
would make it really perfect? If the cars were being like held by giant hands.
I told,
That would
because
be
we had the
amazing.
discussion before I went and did it, and I was like, Ruby reckons that how you make this game great is you have to have a forearm blocking most of the screen most of the time.
Holding the car.
And they were like, yeah, we'll run that up the chain.
You should be able to hear in the background, like obviously like the background music, but also
Yeah. Dinner's ready.
But what if it's
Didn't
just
they have those like special tracks that they would zip around by themselves? Or was
Sorry?
that? Didn't they have those tracks where they could zip around by
That's how Hot
themselves?
Wheels
did, yeah.
usually go. It's
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
send them around. But what if the hand only, like, because the music's pumping and just
We're
as you go,
obsessing about a thing that doesn't
if you
exist.
just go over the finish line and as the music's
But
like
should.
pumping and you go over the finish line and then suddenly it's just like a 46-year-old man going, vroom, vroom. Oh god.
They need a big giant Scardy walking across the map, like
Yes.
when we played that Nintendo,
The Mario Kart
Kart one. Yeah,
What's
So-
the meat on the bone?
So the meat on the bone is that there's a shitload of cars. I think there's something like 130 cars. There's not just the cars now, and they're all the fun designs.
Okay.
But there's motorbikes and ATVs as well, so there's more
Okay.
of a range of the actual Hot Wheels stuff. The locations are a big part of it, and you're not just on track now. In each of the different locations, you drive on different terrain, and it has a different feel. So driving across, pavement like that feels different to the track. Driving across dirt and sand, it just makes the races a bit more dynamic than just being on the one road feel the whole time and having the same
you
kind of
came
traction.
off the track in the first one, but I don't know if they had any changing, if
okay,
it had
maybe,
any changing of how the car handle or anything like that. And it was like this, like little off-track, on-track kind of things.
yeah.
But
Yeah, whereas this is like there are maps and there are modes that you're off track the whole time.
Yeah,
so there's
cool.
like a whole suite of things you can do outside of doing races, like challenge modes and stuff. There's a jump now, which will probably let you do some shortcutty stuff in modes that don't have checkpoints, but also let you kind of just work your way around the other cars in a more interesting way. And you can side charge, like you can do a dash into the vehicles either side of you, so you can bully around a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
There's a skill system, so you can put points towards a vehicle that you like and towards a kind of a style that you like. Maybe you want to give yourself a bit more boost, or maybe you're a bit more of a bruiser and you're into the pushing stuff around, so you have more effect on the cars around you when you do that stuff. So there's a bit of variety there and like a bit of customizability there. So there's a bit more mechanic in that.
Jesus, look at the monster truck.
That's not my robot.
I feel like that's not fair.
I feel like I look at this and it looks good, but why would I get this if I already have Mario Kart? Is it just like that kind of customized?
This isn't like Mario Kart in.
Because you're the car.
It is a party racer. I would say Mario Kart is obviously a well-established leader of the pack. This is just an alternative to Mario Kart. It is still an arcade racer. It's not really a battle racer in the same way. You
don't
don't
pick up
get
items to shoot at
items and
people.
stuff.
Yeah.
And you're
It's
the
much
car.
more a classic arcade style
Burnout
racer.
kind of on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
with Hot Wheels or something
Yeah.
like that.
The
Is there
design
anyone
is
in the cars?
beautiful. No. It's
No.
just the little plastics going
So
around.
you're the car.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of it.
Some of them are like empty cockpit cars.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they have the little thing where
I feel like it's unfair to have a monster truck. On a
it's
race
clearly
like
it's not
this.
winning. So I don't. There's
Trackmania clone isn't an interesting take. I think Trackmania is absolutely. I think that's a fair thing to say, but I mean that's not a reason for someone to not try and make a game with a property. If you don't have boost, you can't break through things. There's all that
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
stuff on the maps.
There
But-
really is a nostalgia and kind of collectathon vibe alongside
Yeah.
the racing here, which appealed to a lot of people, and Will liked playing the first one. I picked it. The first one's up on Game Pass on Xbox, so I had a little bit of a play with it and was
Yeah,
like,
cool.
I can see how this gets its hooks in of going like, ooh, next little car, and they literally unbox like little blind packaging of like,
Yeah.
here's your little toy, and I was like, this is a nice
That is
feeling.
that is pretty cool. Are there any systems in place to like level out if one person is it just like a straight racer?
I
Is there
don't.
rubber
I only played against AI, and I played through all the modes that were available in the build. I don't think there's any rubber banding.
Yeah, because that would be the other difference, I guess. If you're it, because Mario Kart, I do find gets like, it almost gets a bit frustrating when you're playing it, and even if I'm coming last and I get given the bullet, I almost feel like I don't want to win this way, or I don't
I
want
didn't
this.
deserve this.
There is in
I
the
don't
first
want
one.
this.
In the first one, at least, there is skill in this, and you can fall massively behind, which I did, and was like falling off the track gives you
Yeah.
massive penalties, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, people can get ahead, which I think is more fun for people who enjoy
There's
the
yeah.
racing element.
The
Yeah.
mode that I enjoyed racing, and I was getting a feel for it, and I think this is earlier footage than before even, or I don't know when it is, but like you get different cars have a different feel, and it feels nice when you feel like you know how to drift around corners. But I actually enjoyed. This was like some bus cigarette lighter matchbox car, and I was doing a.
Looks like a taser.
This is a race to the points.
You drove a vape.
Yeah, driving a vape. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving my gun pod. It's banana flavor.
This was a mode where you're like, this is just a party game where you race between checkpoints that are on one of the maps. So obviously you're driving around one of these locations. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
But the one that I had the most fun in was the drift mode, and it's just a point chase. So you just lap after lap trying to drift around as much of the course as you possibly can.
Nice.
So yeah, there's some depth in it. It's not going to replace Mario Kart, but it is an arcade racer that you can have fun with
Strange has
so.
come along. Like the first game was
Yeah.
good. It doesn't look like a huge, big enough improvement to warrant a sequel. It does kind of look like DLC repackaged, but maybe again, that's how it looks.
If the
Maybe
game does
No,
well,
I
if the game
agree.
does well enough, then they're just like, why should we not make another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just and again, that's why I feel this game is. They would have learned a lot from the first game. They haven't changed much of what was working about the first game. They've just packaged it out to be
The stuff they
a-
want.
Like
a much
potentially
fuller
not
game.
worth it if you already have the first one, but if you were thinking about it,
It would
and
be
didn't-
hard to justify, I think, buying it again if you had your fun with the first one, because
The novelty.
you're buying this for the other little modes, which
and maybe collecting the other cars, which people who get into this.
totally,
So.
yeah. And there's heaps more cars this time, and there was in the first game, but apparently the track builder is far more robust. So, and you're building in those locations,
Like
so you
to
can
think
do way
that-
more stuff.
That Hot Wheels is stuck under the couch.
Yeah.
That's not coming
It was
back.
there for good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass day one. It's out in October. They
It didn't
but they're
say-
getting a lot of press. Obviously, I went to that press event. That they want people talking about it early, which is a positive thing. The game plays well, so
And what number Critic Pete give it?
7.
7.
It is. Like an average
Amazing.
wrestling game, it gets a 7.
Hot Wheels Unleashed 2
Critic
Turbocharged.
is
Cool.
I played this week a game that's been in early access for quite some time, not yet released, but was a lot of fun. It's called BattleBit Remastered,
Oh, this.
which is kind of like if Battlefield and Minecraft had a baby. It basically plays like Battlefield. The crazy thing is it was made by 3 dudes.
I can see
Looks
that.
like
dudes
it.
made this.
In the most loving way.
Sure, but like the servers support
Subscribe.
254
bell.
players per server.
Yeah,
And
right.
it's like seamless. Like we never had any issues. It was just like obviously it's a very low poly experience, so they're dealing with a lot less stress, I guess. But from the connectivity perspective and just the multiplayer perspective, it was great.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about this game is that it uses a global voice chat a lot.
Excellent.
And it has a specific mechanic built in that it opens your mic automatically when you die for
Yeah.
like 5 seconds. And so
COD's
whether or
been
not
doing that recently,
Yeah.
but like in this case, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So whether or not you are thinking about broadcasting or whatever, you don't think about what you are saying when you die. It just blurts out of your mouth and you're not like hitting the VoIP button. And so you get
That's
everything
so
from
funny.
no to what the burst fire shit. Yeah, okay. and then just people playing music and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the devs have been really thorough with building in a very strict report system to stop people from, making it a toxic, shitty place.
I was about to say, you probably hear a lot of gamer words in that moment.
Totally, and I was expecting
What's
that.
your favourite gamer word?
I'm not saying. Good question.
Let's go for the trifecta.
I will never say my favorite one.
Yeah. And so I was expecting the worst, and it was actually awesome. Like everyone was like, super. I would say respectful, like, a few people just like
so
playing
good.
music and stuff like that. But like, there's also a system where every time someone speaks locally, their name pops up in the bottom left of screen, and then and F1 is next to it. So as soon as the person's talking, if their mic is live and you hit F1, you mute them instantly.
Yeah, right.
So it's like their name pops up, you hit F1, they're muted.
It looks awesome.
So it's super easy to just mute anyone who's being shit, but it's also like the report system is so intense, and you click a million boxes and you go through a bunch of these different screens. It's like, yes, I agree, I will be banned like from the game, and if anyone catches me, like,
I guess when you have a large player base like this, the idea is, and again, so this is a squad shooter. This is like,
Yeah.
It's Battlefield, but
It's
done,
Battlefield, yeah.
And so it's always like multiple points, teamwork, all that kind of stuff. I guess if they're gonna put that many people in a match, they just know it can turn to a shit show quickly. So what systems do we have in place to make sure people move past that and enjoy the game?
What's really, I think, incredible about it is that, and I think for me, I never in a million years would have thought that I would have, A, enjoyed multiplayer shooters on the reg of this nature, and B, found global voice chat to be the thing that I love most about them. But it absolutely is. And I think even more so, it's the same kind of vibe that I've enjoyed in DMC of trying to form weird relationships with people in a setting that people don't expect it. But I think because of the nature of how this looks, it feels a bit sillier. People take it less seriously, and it has created a breeding ground for really funny role play. And people are just running around as characters and like, funny voices and like weird relationships. And I think also the people who aren't doing that, when I go in there trying to role play and like make friends with people, they're kind of taken aback by it, but like weirdly intrigued. And then I end up with these kind of weird buddies that kind of attach themselves to me who are just like, I just need to see where this is going.
Yeah.
And it's super fun. I made a friend in this, I'm calling my play session the Ballad of Fungus Chad, because he became my hero, my protector, my savior, and my friend. And we had a really good time together, and he was just so joyous. And it was so funny because I spoke to him afterwards and he was like, that is the most fun I've ever had in this game. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's not about the shooting. It's about the friendship, and it's about the funny scenarios and the role play. We had a whole thing where we had to like discuss his pay rates, and I told him that this was actually an unpaid internship, and he had to like...
In the military.
Yeah, in the military. And he had to understand that he was doing this for like cred and exposure, and that it would help his career in the long run. And he was like, got it. At one point, we strapped a bunch of C4 to him and made him like a suicide
okay.
bomber. And then he it was amazing. And
It
then
was amazing.
it's a video game. All war is bullshit.
But
Come on.
hang on, to your point, when you simplify it down to voxels and squares, it can somewhat feel less like, oh god, was that a serious thing we just did versus we're running in and screaming in our hands.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a little more.
But the funny
playful.
thing is, when we're having these really intense conversations in roleplay and we're standing in the middle of a road and there's like RPGs and stuff going on, I see people stop and then kind of like pause, and then we develop a little crowd kind of forms around because they're like, I'm curious as to what's happening here. And then I hear people laughing and stuff and like kind of get drawn into it. And then we become a little group, and I love it. And then I can hear people who've maybe never roleplayed before start to try and like give it a go. And I'm like, this is not what you expected from this night, but like this is, I feel like made your night better. So I love it.
Bring on large number shooters. We did the Starship Troopers one the first week you guys were away, and when I jumped into that, Josh and Will and Ben were in that too.
Subscribe, everybody.
Subscribe, everybody. There were some people, because that had voice chat open, and it was 64 people running around, and that was all PvE.
Yeah.
People going like getting killed and going like, "Oh, bleeding out, man!"
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Like, but there, because it's VoIP or whatever, it was like in the distance, and you'd hear it over that, and just see someone lying on the ground, and someone's like, "I'm coming, dude!"
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
It
At
was like people loved it.
At one point, Barjo instigated the thing where every time you res someone, you have to give them a little kiss. Like
You played this with Barjo.
Yes.
That explains a lot. Okay, right.
No, I'm about the role play though. He was like trying to,
Trying to be top of the
he was,
leaderboard?
yeah. Well, no, he was just like trying to wrangle us a little bit because
okay.
I get very distracted. Big surprise. But yeah, he instigated a thing where every time you res someone, you kiss them, and that became like it. Just every time people,
That's
we
a
all
classic Barjo
we
move.
all started doing
That's
it, and
old
then
Battlefield, he would
they
do
started
that.
to get a bit wet and strange,
no.
like mwah.
He would do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, back on the Starship one. We tried to get everyone in the squad because we had a full team at one point. Everyone doing hurrahs. Can I get a hurrah?
Yeah.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah. What are we doing? Hurrah. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that didn't work the way I wanted. But it was
At
great.
one point, I rezzed some random and I was just like, get back out there. You can live to fight another day. And I know you can do this. You just have to believe. And he was like, thanks, mate. And then as I was walking away, I heard him go, that was actually really inspirational.
I do feel better.
Wow. Okay.
It's really funny. And it's all like in this ridiculous blocky Minecraft like Roblox world that just makes the whole thing feel like even more ridiculous. And
wanna
I
jump
just
into
love
this.
it.
PC free to play or
Not free to play.
Yeah, and it's in early access, but I think it'll release any day now because it's,
Yeah, cool.
it's pretty
Well,
good.
Is it in early access? I mean, I don't know where it blew up from. Why is
Oh
it
yeah,
called
it was,
remastered?
it was $23. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right.
But that's what that's good value for money for what it is.
Yeah.
And it is a complete game. You know,
Yeah.
people are pretty fed up with the whole
I was
like
going to say it's a response to Battlefield.
free to play.
Oh.
But obviously Battlefield isn't free to play. But kind of games as service thing. They're like, just give me the game, stop selling me skins, let me do
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah. I guess
so
you-
it's getting a lot of positive attention for that.
Yeah, I guess you get to a point where you're just like, as a dev, you want to make it perfect. And with a game like this, that involves so much playtesting
Yeah.
for servers and stuff like that, that it would get to a point where the game is pretty much finished, but still technically in early
Yeah.
access. In terms of how it plays, like it plays how you would expect a Minecraft style Battlefield shooter to play. But like in terms of the multiplayer functions, it's great. There's a really good feedback function for all the maps and stuff where it's like after you play the map, it's like rate this map, explain what you liked or didn't like about it, like what could improve. Like I didn't like this map because it didn't have enough cover, or
Yeah.
like I kept getting griefed in these spots, or like heaps of detail. Like they're really trying to lean on player feedback to make the experience
But
better.
also, it does feel like, obviously, it is unashamedly a Battlefield
Chad.
clone.
the heads
For
up.
sure.
And is that a response to Battlefield 2042, people not having the uptake of players that people they expected? And this seems like this would draw a bigger crowd than Battlefield's latest season, because that's struggling to still please that initial audience who loved it. Barjo and we used to play that a lot as well. And for him to dive into that says to me, this is for people who are like, I can't find a point of entry on 2042.
Maybe it seems too.
It is still a bit wacky in this play style. Okay. I'll have to give it a shot.
It's hard to imagine like hardcore shooters getting into it, but that's kind of what I like about it. It feels like you're getting less of the toxic douchey stuff because it's appealing to a very kind of niche sort of Steam indie audience who've kind of found this thing. And the fact that it's been made by these like three dudes keeps it kind of wholesome. I don't know. I just love it. I think it's great. And I like that people just inherently aren't taking it so seriously as a shooter, because I feel like, why would you?
We should get a group on. Like,
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
As somebody that knows nothing except what you've just told me,
Sure.
I saw in the chat, Ruby should draw fungus Chad. And based on that name alone, I've drawn
Oh my
Fungus Chad.
gosh.
I've drawn a Fungus Chad.
Oh my god.
So
We've got to send that to him somehow. He'd be so
somehow
impressed.
we want to get this to Fungus Chad. Fungus Chad, if you're out there,
Reach
let
out
me
to
know
us.
and I'll send it to you.
You're getting it on a t-shirt.
That's
Fungus
you.
Chad even was like, I'm getting in trouble for being so loud because I'm not usually like having this much fun in a video game, and I keep getting roused on for being too noisy. And I was like, oh man,
Amazing.
I'm
It's just
glad you had a
beautiful.
good night.
Fungus Chad.
You did such a good job. With that.
It's something about it. Like,
perfect.
wait. Can we? I'll zoom
You
in
can
on the
zoom.
face. We can.
Yes.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's so beautiful.
There's such a great expression in
Them
those
cheekbones.
faces you
I
draw.
think he'd be really
Cut to
stoked
Josh.
with that.
I think he'd love that.
Over your
Can
shoulder,
we
Josh.
cut
Just
Oh,
because
the one
the
over
just
Josh's
'cause the
shoulder,
chat
right.
over your shoulder.
Josh up real quick?
Yeah,
Josh,
yeah.
Josh,
Just a quick Josh.
Can we get you on
Just a
camera real
little
quick?
bit, Josh.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
we
I
saw-
did. I was showing it off.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
there it
yeah.
is.
There it is.
I'm sorry I put the foot so close to the face.
I'm not. I'm not.
Gus, what are you even playing?
I am back from holiday, but my holiday continued in a game that I picked up called Dave the Diver, which was released officially this week, but it's been in early access for quite a long time now and getting heaps and heaps of love and praise in that time.
That's you on your holiday.
That's me on my holiday. The guy down there.
Yeah.
That's,
Did you scuba in
I
Bali?
did not scuba.
Sad.
I
I
did
was about to say,
not.
did you theme your game choice to your holiday?
No, I've been meaning to play this for a long time,
Okay.
and I was tempted to get in on early access. I slept on it, and then when it said, "Hey, it's out officially," I was like, "Perfect, I'll jump in." It's about $25 on Steam. It is a joy of a game. I'm having so much fun with this. Essentially, the game is split into two parts. You play the titular Dave, the scuba diver.
You love the word titular.
I do really
Yeah.
love to say it. It's just got a good mouthfeel.
Can you say it again?
Titular.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
It's actually a little bit crass. If you could just say breastular
Yeah.
next time, that'd be
The boobula character, Dave, who is a
I
scuba
like that
diver.
word.
Bubula.
Sounds
like man.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
too good.
I like
Play on
it.
words.
It's a play on
God
words.
damn it.
Dave heads under the sea where you are spearfishing and exploring the deep blue, which is this area in particular that changes up. So it's got a little bit of, I don't want to say a roguelite, but it has a semi-procedural element to when you go down and scuba dive. And that's the first half of the game, which does really expand up as you increase your gear, including oxygen, your spear gun.
So violent.
It really is. That's a really satisfying. The sound effect does a boom when you spear them. But basically, that half of the game is exploration. That's upgrading your gear. And that's trying to manage your oxygen, which is also your health. If you take hits from fish that are aggressive, that will go down. The deeper you go, you might find pockets of oxygen. So it has a really cool vibe of how much should I push the exploration? Am I going to survive and get out of here? If you do run out of oxygen, you can take only one thing out with you, which
Just
is
little
great
flippies.
for if you're doing an actual mission objective and you do want to get out of there with the one thing you needed. But bringing a whole heap of fish back with you sends you back to the surface, where the second half of the game is a sushi restaurant management game, because you now are providing all the fish for, I think his name is Bancho, who is the super awesome character who runs the restaurant you can see in the distance there. You dump all your fish and then you head back there, and the restaurant management half of this game is fantastic.
Pour the right amount. Bad.
Ooh, no, you want to get it just right.
Ooh.
The restaurant
This is
management
so
is
good.
the restaurant management has mini games like this, but the majority of it is actually a restaurant sim. You have to set the menu before they all come in and choose how many of each ingredient you think are going to be purchased. You then need to run back and forth around the restaurant and deal with the customers. You need to carry the food around. You need to clear up plates.
What are you basing that information on? Are you just like looking at the amount of people and being like, these guys
Yep.
seem like salmon
Certain,
folk?
well, you're just kind of like, as you start up, you'll get a few customers, so you
They're
just
just
want to
bears.
put a couple of put a couple of things on the menu, and then you might run out halfway through your shift that night, which is timed, and you're like, quick, get some more food out there in time. The chef has to prepare it. You have to carry it over. This side is actually quite intense and has a real dense sort of back management system to it, in the sense that you can hire staff, you can have them do some of the tasks for you. You'll have special ingredients come in and VIPs that only want certain types of sushi. It's really fun. I actually think I love this side of the game more than the scuba diving. It's got a kind of Cult of the Lamb vibe to it, which is like you've got a management side and you've got an action side to it.
The two sides seem quite different.
They are. at opposite ends, but they complement each other really well because it is that thing from Cult of the Lamb. Just when you get tired of the
good comparison.
Doing one
action
thing,
side
you
of
go
it,
and do
you
the
want a
other.
little bit of menus and you want to manage stuff and you want to like check your stuff and do so, and then you're like, nah, I'm ready for the actual like moment to moment gameplay, which is what you're seeing here. And
my God.
you
so
gotta watch
angry.
out. There's,
Pufferfish.
that's a
Big goober fish.
big uberfish. It's not a parrotfish. It's a
Big fish.
big fish.
Big
And then
Flounder.
this stuff expands
Recipes.
in the game's story, characters, and sense of humor, which is fantastic. The writing is really
Is there
lovely.
any romance?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
can you get married?
There may be, but there is absurd.
I don't want to hear about it if you can't.
There are wild characters. Every time you finish a day is made up of 2 dives and then 1 restaurant shift. You can then eventually unlock night dives as well. It is like you get those 2 shifts in, and maybe you.
That was going to be my next question.
There's so
Lord.
many of the same
Okay.
question.
Ruby, in answer to your question, I don't know if you can fuck a fish, but you can bring joy to people in the consumption of the fish in a
okay,
way
hold
that
on.
feels a bit like that, because I will give the game massive top marks on the cutscenes that are done in a pixel art style,
Yeah.
which are fucking wonderful and are actually the thing that you want to get to the end of each objective. Josh, I've got a little
Who's
clip
she?
here of not
It
only...
better not be you climaxing.
No, it's not, but it's close.
Yeah.
If you give the volume on this one, Josh, this is like a couple of the cutscenes I put together of what happens when you finish like a story beat, and you get these beautifully crafted cutscenes. They're great. I love them. It's not that guy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
And then this is a critic you feed.
This is what I was
Discerning.
about to ask you about the
Oh?
singer.
Yes.
Holy shit.
And then this
That
guy is really
rocks.
angry. He's like, you can't serve me the food I had as a child. And it totally Ratatouille.
Oh my God, it's a Ratatouille moment.
Oh my gosh.
It's a Ratatouille.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's a gorgeous.
It's so sweet. Oh my God, they Ratatouille'd.
They Ratatouille.
Oh my goodness.
So there's heaps of those
Epic
little
Ratatouille
cutscenes.
moment.
There's story ones. There's
That's so satisfying.
It is,
That's so
and
cool.
there's one per main story character. Your main sushi chef has all these other ones that I've never skipped one. I love them
And
so much.
Can you not achieve that if you cook it poorly? Like, will they just be
That's
like,
a story. That's a story beat one that
Okay.
you're trying to impress a critic.
Instead of going to his youth, it just ages the man.
The Holy Grail
Yeah,
just
yeah.
dies. Please excuse the pun, but it has heaps of depth in terms of like the story is opening up.
Sorry.
You go so deep down, and you're like, I'm like, I shouldn't be here. I need to retreat and do another run later on. So it has a run-based vibe to it. The management side
What are you
of it.
upgrading in the diving side of things? Like just the oxygen?
Your oxygen tank, which is more health and how
Yeah.
long you can stay down. Your
Yeah.
suit is how deep you can go. You'll hit a point
Okay.
where you can't. If you go beyond that, your oxygen just starts disappearing.
Sure.
You have a weight
Your
limit.
fishing gear?
You have a weight limit to how much you can bring to the surface, and when you have too much, you totally become over encumbered and
my
can't swim
God.
back.
Yeah.
So you have
My
a storage
nightmare.
crate and your harpoon gun upgrades. But then there's weapons, and the whole thing is actually guns. It's like
Yeah,
sniper
right.
rifles and pistols. You've got a gunsmith who upgrades, and you find blueprints. It's really like what's around the next corner, or Coral Atoll, or something like. It's just like you just keep looking around and being like, I want to do one more dive, and then
Yeah.
you get back to the restaurant. You're like, I gotta serve customers. It's just this is
a very you game, and I love
it's a
it.
very me game. The art style's great, the writing's great, and I hate the word, but it is addictive. It's like I'm thinking about playing it right now. I'm like,
I
I
love
want to
that.
jump back in. So Dave
Awesome.
the Diver, it's getting great reviews and deservedly so. It's really, really good fun, and your holiday just keeps on going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was Dave the Diver. Peter, you played Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. Ruby, you played AEW Fight Forever. I played BattleBit Remastered. That was what we've been playing. We'll be back. No? Yes.
Yeah.
After this break, I did it.
Off.
I should have just committed, you know?
All right, come on, scooch it, Okay, freeze.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I think I got it.
Oh, cool. Should we have filmed an ad while we were here?
If you're a business that does online business online, then your online business needs Nicrotex. But don't take my word for it. Fuck. Meet Nicrotex.
By utilizing carbon-bonded tritonic RAM processing nodes in conjunction with cutting-edge peer-to-peer pseudo-random phased accelerated digital intermodulation, we are raising synthesized phase noise efficiencies by 300%. We decoupled semiconductor modules using open-source RX oscillating nanoharmonic quantum discriminators that bypass traditional hardwired XML circuits to allow optimal backend SSL multi-byte enabled BIOS process.
You can't prove that doesn't make sense, so upload Nicrotex to your servers today. Oh shit, he's getting in mine. Oh shit, no!
Audio Jungle.
If you're a PC gamer, the Steam Next Fest is a perfect opportunity for you to play a whole bunch of games, but only a tiny little bit. So we've gone ahead and chosen our favorite demos for you to give a go during this month's Steam Next Fest. Check it out. Lies of P is a fascinating Souls-like that takes on the story of Pinocchio and somehow makes it darker than it already is. If you thought Pauly Shore's Pinocchio was twinky,
leave to be on my own.
Get a load of Pinocchio, who's a twink but with a big sword. Little Kitty Big City poses an important question. What if you were a little cat who loves chaos? You can make the cat wear hats, bat things off of this and that, and something else that rhymes with cat. It's amazing. Wooden Weather is a game set in a wonderful wooden block world where you assume the role of a god. You can help townsfolk out, you can control the weather, or you can do what I do and deliver as many cars into the river as possible. The cars yearn for the sea. Skater Gator 3D puts you in the role of Greenjamin Gator as he jumps and grinds through a colourful and unforgiving world. The last Skater Gator game was in 2D and a bit more simple, but this time they've somehow made it even cooler than Skating Alligator was before. And finally, Jump Light Odyssey is a hilarious and delightful little colony sim where you're tasked with leading your crew on a daring escape to the sanctuary of the Forever Star. There's drama, there's explosions, and there's a little pig that you can pat. What more could you people possibly want? And good gravy, there's a lot more where they came from.
Alright, squeeze in, scooch, scooch.
Do we get it?
Yeah.
I think so?
Yeah.
Aren't we supposed to like film a video while we were here?
Oh.
Nah, it'll be should be there.
It'll be fine.
Should be right. Welcome back, everyone, to Back Pocket, and thank you to our sponsors there, or our words from sponsors we saw from BMAC, and we also saw from Dump Days. Their whole group of Back Pocketeers.
Oh my gosh.
Getting behind,
Makes
supporting,
me so happy.
not
Love
knowing
that.
how to use their phones correctly. That's the audience we like and we love. Good stuff, guys. We also saw a ad there for Nicrotex, some of the anti-malware software that Peter's so passionate of.
By cartelizing the duper-duper-duper-duper.
Couple decouple. I hear that every fucking time. And we also saw one of our socials up there, Ruby, one of your socials, I should say. We're knocking those out of the park at the moment.
We gotta get Ruby
I
in
do
an
be
ad.
posting. There's something
sure
about
do.
like making a TikTok that just like hits. You know what I mean?
Is there a type of classic advert that you'd love to parody?
A fucking wrestling ad.
Yes.
Or
Wait, do they have
like
ads for
a
wrestling?
Yeah,
a
I feel like
wrestling promo?
WCW.
Yep.
I'd love to do a wrestling promo. That'd
Pick
be
your
so
promo and we'll
good.
parody it. Parody it.
Or like I love those like old weird Japanese ads. Like do you remember the one with the guy in the dog suit? And he's like kind of moving around in a really weird way, and he's like in a big
we were looking
dog
at ones
suit.
earlier this week of all when they get a often US Hollywood celebrity over there, and they put them in an ad. Your Harrison
Lost in
Ford's,
translating.
and that's that real. They don't know what they're doing, and it's like they all stand around and drink like coffee in a can and go and scream, and everyone screams, and it's like those wonderful like 80s ads.
There's also this really weird like animated ad from years ago, and I remember like bringing it up to someone who was like quite online, and they were like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it was Royco Cup of Soup. And I don't know if it was a real ad or someone just made an animation for it, but like it's this really strangely animated ad for Royco Cup of Soup. And
it's filling up, but this is post-show
Pins
content
my
I want to
mind.
see.
Yeah.
So we're going to look that up.
We got to
We
put
will
it
definitely
on.
look that up.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you aren't following our socials, please, we implore you to go and check them out. We're back pocket vids and everything, and there's heaps and heaps going out at the moment, and they're good.
So much stuff out.
There's stuff going out. It's informative. It's entertaining. It's a
We
third
laughed, we
thing.
cried.
It's relatable. It's all those things. So please go check it out. All right, we're going to move on with the show with a segment that we've done once before. We had a good time doing it, so we're going to do it again. It's cancelled pop culture. Oh my word.
The flop era.
It's the flop era.
It's the
That
flop
just-
era.
that just
Pockety
flopped
is
right down
a shower, not a grower, I think.
Well, look,
If that's the flop,
I mean,
could be
like,
anything.
yeah, if
That
you're
couldn't be
putting out the
anything.
meat on display and it bonks down.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good sign.
That was a thud.
This is
Yeah.
true. That could be anything. It could have been their arm. They could have just
You
been
made
extra,
it, so
it's-
what is
they
it?
don't have an arm. They have floating hands.
True.
It has to be a cock.
It's gotta be cock!
It's got to be cock. A new segment.
I can't believe it's not cock!
There it
That's
is.
Ruby's ad.
Yes, it is the flop era. This is a segment brought to us by MiddleCee. Thank you very much. And as usual, when we have a segment sponsored by MiddleCee, we read lyrics from a song in the key of C. I've picked some lyrics today, and it's up for you guys to work out what the song is. I'd like the title of the song and the artist as well. Are you ready?
And the format that the track was
format?
recorded on.
There are more details to it. Play along at home if you'd like. MiddleCee as well if you're watching.
Okay.
Here are the lyrics. And whoever shall be found
Sorry.
without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
I know it.
Please.
Is it Thriller?
It fucking is Thriller.
Holy shit!
No,
It's the
spoken
red
word
bit.
bit by Price. Vincent Price.
I always remembered that part because I remember one being really spooky and one feeling really out of place for a pop song.
I know.
Yeah.
And whosoever shall be found
And
without
rot
the
inside a corpse's shell. I
shell.
was like, whoa! Okay.
I remember that bit.
Love Vincent
I think the end of it as it cues into the song is the bit that I remember.
Yeah.
What's-
Have you seen? So the reason I brought it up is because people have put the Thriller music behind in Zelda when the blood moon comes out, and
right.
Zelda does the blood moon rises on this night. But if you put Thriller behind it, it's like, oh fuck yes,
Santa face the house.
it's really good. I go check it out. It is great. Thank you,
Nice.
MiddleCee, for being an ongoing patron and sponsor of the show. And yes, we're going to check out this segment, which we've done once before for E3. Where we got you guys to get up on stage, and it was your job to spruik a game that had been cancelled. Hence the name Pop Cancelled Culture.
Yes.
Cancelled pop culture, whatever. This is the flop era, which I've been told by Ruby is the term you would use for something that's failed, it has flopped. The flop era is how
if
people
someone's
refer to
slaying, then it's good. But if someone's in their flop era, it means they're flopping. It means they're not doing good. They're not succeeding. They're not gaining subscriber. They're losing subscriber even. They are flopping. They're failing. They're not slaying.
There it is.
Yeah.
So the reason it's that is because all the games that you guys are going to be up there attempting to spruik, attempting to sell, attempting to put a positive spin on are, I would say, objectively massive flops.
So we're thinking things like
Don't even say it. Don't even say
AEW Fight Forever.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, damn.
Wow, he's so
live
proud
to
of
hurt
himself
my
for that one.
Yeah.
As is usual, you won't see the game behind you on the screen. We will react. The audience
We
will
should have made a
react.
promise where you'd be nice to me.
Can we make it now?
Yeah. Do you promise to be nice to me?
Promise.
Don't lock it. Don't
We're
lock it.
locking
You
it?
can't commit.
We're locking it.
Wow.
It's
Locked away.
Yeah.
AEW is my favorite game.
There we go, baby.
Peter, you're the first one. I've got a couple of games
All right.
to you each, so why don't you jump up again on stage, and we'll welcome you as you get up there and attempt to polish this turd, should have been the name of this segment as well.
I don't like that. It's too visual.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these games did come out. They haven't been cancelled, but they probably shouldn't have come out. That's kind of the vibe.
It's like when people say there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to know any way to skin
or beating a
cat.
dead horse. I don't like that one
Flogging.
either.
Yeah.
Oh, here, ladies and gentlemen,
There he is.
Oh, wow. This bodes well.
I'd love to see Phil Spencer come on stage with the fucking long neck.
It's a great
If he did it in Australia, he'd win himself so many
my
fans.
God, he
Guys, he's
would.
really excited that his can is green.
Yeah.
Should have been a VB.
So, Peter, thanks for joining us. Let's hear a little bit about the game you are really excited about showing off.
Well, thank you everyone for turning up today. Really appreciate it. After obviously you've just been and seen Nintendo announce the Wii U. So this fella right here is gonna dominate the charts of the Wii U.
Nice.
You can.
Why?
Because the thing about what you're seeing on screen right now is the tactility of it. You can touch basically all of the controls in this game. If you want to do a flip, rub up. If you want to do a little slide, flick it down.
What if you want to do a tornado?
If you were trying to do a tornado, You said a tornado.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be doing a tornado all day long in this game in my car.
Nope.
No.
I'll be doing tornadoes as I
doing a tornado?
as I run on
Would you
because
say
I'm
maybe you
the
put
Tasmanian.
something on so you can do a tornado?
Sure, like I could put something on to do a tornado. Like I could, if I wanted to equip my latest fan backpack and whiz across the world in a tornado
What kind
of
of world
fury.
is it? Or is it more of a land?
It is definitely a land before time.
like
Tie-in video game. But we couldn't get the IP, so we made this instead. So that's why you're seeing a little bit of Ducky in the character on screen right now.
That's such a weird reference. Please don't make that reference.
He really
Peter.
loves that movie.
He loves that fucking character.
Who doesn't love Land Before Time, Diana Ross?
yeah.
I don't think it's a wonderful movie, Peter. But
Yeah.
this land is.
Yeah.
The land is wonderful. Oh. I mean, I know that I needed that because I know nothing else about the game other than it's called Balan Wonderland, ladies and gentlemen.
Or is it Wonder World? I can never remember.
Balan Wonderworld.
Balan Wonderland, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, I think Wonder World was what we were saying
So
wrong.
fucked. Just dissolved the screen.
I feel like everybody was saying Wonderworld, but it's not Wonderworld. It's Balan Wonderland.
It was actually
Yeah.
Pigawale, incorrect.
Pigawale.
Hey, Scardy, hello.
Well done. Ruby, do you want to head on up and spruik something?
Oh, I was completely wrong. It's totally Wonderworld.
It's Wonder World.
It's Wonder World?
Wonderland feels better because Australia's Wonderland.
Australia's Wonderland. That's
Yeah.
why we keep saying that.
That's it. That's it.
You can walk on from off stage if you like.
Okay.
What is the event we're at?
Ruby, you came up. It was Summer Shame Fest.
Summer
Shame
Shames
Fest.
Please welcome to the stage, Ruby Innes, everyone.
Woo! Wow.
We're over here.
She's done this before.
Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Spencer. And I'd like to present to you my game.
My game.
So my game, it's an open world.
Yeah?
It's an open world where you can do many things, and you're a little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. You're a little guy,
Love little guys.
and you're a little bit funny. You're a funny guy, or not so funny guy. Serious guy. Very serious little guy. You'd say?
I'm not sure you have a point of view.
No.
You're just out to get your job done.
You want to be funny? I don't think we find you very funny.
You try and be funny. You try and be funny, and maybe you don't succeed, and that's okay because as long as you're running, saving the day, and the best part is maybe you're an animal of some sort.
Sure.
Sure are.
You're
Super acrobatic is what I'm saying.
You're a cat, maybe.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I know what this game is. But I'm going to keep on going.
Please.
So I would argue that this game we've made is revolutionary. It's really changing what we know as platformers
Look at the
as a
confidence
whole. Some may say that the little guy that we've chosen to front our game isn't that funny at all. But I would argue that he's got a good head on him and knows all sorts of references. And that's just great. May I present to you Bubsy 3D?
Well done.
Oh
Well
god!
done.
Every time that character jumps, it makes me like shudder a little bit.
I was going to make a reference to the lack of pants, but didn't even need to get to that.
The second you said, people don't think he's funny. We don't think he's funny. I'm like, oh my god, it's Bubsy.
That's so funny.
I have
so
tailored
latched
games
onto
that
it.
I thought you would all at least
I've never heard of that.
recognize.
What? Bubsy rocks.
Bubsy as a 2D platformer was really
Well, that
fun
I
on the
know.
Super Nintendo.
I didn't know there was a 3D game.
Not many
that
people
Fox
do
had,
it. It was
yeah.
a massive flop. It's like top 10 worst games ever.
It looks
Jesus, what?
horrible
I would
to
say
control.
that like Bubsy is a worse version of Gex, which is arguably a worse version
I will
of
not
Conker.
hear a bad word said about
And
Gex. Enter the Gecko.
that being said, I am a Gex head.
Oh,
I
good, okay.
love Gex.
Right,
I
yeah.
love Gex.
I love how you say Gex head like it's a known
It's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Gex
we
head.
got the
Next
Gex
week's
stuff.
t-shirt, Gex Head.
Oh yeah. Sorry. This T-shirt
Oh, yeah.
says, "I'm banned from every Hog's Breath cafe in Australia for reasons I legally don't have to disclose to you."
Please wear it to her.
I was like,
I will
that's-
take you for dinner at a Hog's Breath Cafe just to be
Please.
like, let her in.
I was like, that's so niche. Like, where did you find that? She was like, oh, I made it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It doesn't get more niche than that.
So
Yeah.
good.
That was a
Stephanie.
tweet that popped off.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a tweet that popped up.
Yeah. Step to the stage.
There's so many. Oh,
Sorry. you keep
That's why it
talking.
sounds like a thing. You've probably seen it on Twitter.
I've definitely posted something about Hog's Breath.
Yeah,
I thought you said it out loud. Yeah, now that I think about it, would have been a tweet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Summer Shame Fest, Stephanie Benedictson!
More shit games.
More shit games.
hello everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Gosh, I'm nervous.
That's okay.
Thanks for having me. We're super excited to finally get this game in front of you today because I know it's going to have a lot of huge fans and we've been really working around the clock to bring you what I would say is the peak of graphical intensity.
Yeah.
It's we really wanted the visuals to set the bar for what games really can look like. And how, high fidelity they can be. But, to supplement that, what we really were excited to bring you was just a top tier story by some of our best writers.
Yeah, not so much.
Oh dear.
And
Sure.
you know what? I think storytelling takes many forms. So, that's why our central protagonist, this gentleman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an animal creature,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
mythical creature,
No.
an animal that talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish he'd shut up. Am I right?
Right? Yeah, talking animal.
I wouldn't tell him to shut up.
No.
I would.
I'd be worried if I did.
I'd be worried, but I'd still do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a little scary though.
Yeah.
Little tough.
Because this is a really it's a scary genre. This horror game.
Yeah, no.
No. When I say horror, I mean like horrifyingly beautiful. As an open world fantasy experience that you will play through. That's when I say open world, I mean more like linear.
And when you say fantasy,
One thing, I think I kind of mean the opposite.
like it feels open world, but it is actually linear, and we've achieved that really well because of the high fidelity visuals.
We forget Steph is really
like,
good at
it's
talking.
It's like fantasy sci-fi, I guess. Like it's in space.
no,
The space in your mind.
yeah.
You're so free when you're here on the ocean.
You're on an island on an ocean.
Yeah,
Oh,
island
yeah.
ocean
Yeah, I
full
think
of
that's
a lot
fair.
of other
a lot of other guys who
similar
look just
looking-
like you.
similar looking
An
dudes.
island.
Maybe
lot
a
of
bit
bad-
less torn
A
up.
lot of bad dudes.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're
Oh,
bad.
sure. Okay.
A lot of bad guys.
Bad guys.
Bad guys.
Well, they're not necessarily all bad, but you definitely there's definitely
You're ill behaved.
Yeah, you're not a good guy. You do some nefarious things. You're a kind of nefarious guy, ill-willed guy.
Oh, I can't fucking bear this.
Yeah, it's hard to bear.
unbearable.
Yeah, unbearable.
We're on an island.
was
Is it someone's birthday by any chance?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it could be.
Is it someone's birthday and you have to bring them a present?
Fuck.
And Oh gosh, I think what we really wanted to create with this game was really fun. We just wanted to capture the nature of a birthday party if that birthday party was being thrown by bears. And those bears were very naughty.
And it's
and it's Naughty Bears. I hope you enjoy it. The best game ever made.
Boo. Steph brought up today talking about bad games and went, oh, it's like Naughty Bear. And I was like what? And she's like, Naughty Bear. And she proceeded to tell me the whole game. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of it. But I'd like put it in the game. And so it was a little, I couldn't tell you.
Good acting. Good
Will
acting.
just told you that. Will just told that story in chat.
Did he? Oh, perfect. Will was the only person who knew Naughty Bear was in it. And so he just sat there dead-eyed like, Gus is lying.
Will is a fiend.
He is. We got a couple more. So do you want to go again?
Yeah,
Peter,
let's
run
do
again.
it.
Get up there. You guys do really well. Like, particularly,
Good guidance.
Yeah.
I was
there's
nowhere
guidance, but
near.
when it
I was
drops,
nowhere
when
near.
the penny drops,
Yeah.
suddenly it's just
Yeah.
like, Ruby went on and was like, I fucking got this. And like charges ahead.
I can tell when a cringe game is coming.
Well, they get cringier. So, Peter, back to the stage, if you will.
Oh, I don't care about the game anymore. She could sell me anything.
Who's that?
I'll buy it. I'll fund it.
Peter, pause for effect.
She's so uncertain.
It was a dog pun. It was a dog pun.
That was a really, really good presentation.
Yeah, you know what?
I love the dicks
Game
on
of the
the
year,
dicks on
honestly.
the back screen as well.
Sorry, my
Welcome back.
colleague had to leave.
No, all good.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
It's a pleasure to be back on the stage after last year's disappointing turnout for Balan Wonderland. We had high hopes for that, but we've gone back to the drawing board.
Oh, yeah, you have.
Oh, yeah.
With this. And we really think that what we lost in a kind of a puzzle platformer, we've discovered in this fishing simulator.
He always swings wild. Like, if he wants
PH fishing, because hacking is a big part of this game.
Stop making
I love how much you shoot in a very specific direction.
Shoots his shot.
Let me
Season time.
You watch, I'll nail it. Look,
Yep.
fishing is how we
Stop,
got...
it's not fishing.
PH fishing is how we got the password to the developer who wrote the code for the base code for this game.
I don't even know
Which
if this thing
is-
had code.
Which is a graphic marvel.
You know what? I would say it's famous.
It's famous for not
For going
that.
the complete
Yeah.
What we wanted
other
to do,
direction.
and when I say marvel, I mean people will be shocked and horrified
Yep.
at what we've put out here. And that's intentional. Because there are so many games being released, and you would have seen them all this weekend at the Summer Shames Fest. There's so many games here that we wanted to find a good way to stand out, and we did that by doing this monochrome.
It's not quite monochrome, but there's you don't have a wide
the
color
settings
palette.
the
It's
settings
simple.
on the projection might be a little off, but this is a monochrome game.
Which was kind of
Don't be fooled
which
by...
was the style of the time.
It was the style of the time when we were building very brown games. Yellow beigey games. And grey games. Beigey grey.
I think you were limited to the amount of colors you could use when
But
you
you
made
definitely
this game.
used some, like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say.
Look, we used them all, all right?
Yeah.
We just went for it.
Okay.
All 1 or 2 of them. And when we set out to build a game for this platform, we wanted it to obviously be ugly.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. But also be something familiar to global audiences.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
I figure you had, Gus.
Help yourself. You do too many leading questions, Gus. Let him get there.
Fishing?
I think he was getting it before you said that.
I was getting before you said the movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Of course you do.
the last 6 months of development for this game, we're actually not in a studio. And this will never happen again to the the millions of copies of this game that we've made. But we finished the development process by baking them underground. We dug a giant trench and we laid them all out.
Yep.
Covered it up, and that cooking, that final part of the process is what makes them run so well on the Atari platform.
If only we remembered where we did that.
Oh boy.
Now, Doug has the coordinates for where we buried the code. Doug? CT.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very good.
Very good.
Very good. You dug it.
I don't know what... I can't remember exactly what cubed me across. I think it was when you said you only had so many colors at this time.
Yeah,
That's a big
yeah.
step. I did not expect you to make that step. I apologize. I went
It's
too hard.
probably the most famous flop of that era.
It's the flop.
It's the flop of all time, I think.
Yeah.
My other clue was something about Funny Home, so that would have really...
I don't know if you would have got this one, but
My other clue was I was going to stand in front of you and do this.
His final clue was he was going to say E.T. at you.
I won't do it this time, Ruby.
And
I promise.
Entertainment Tonight. Which celebrity hates feet?
yeah, you love that one.
It's
I love
all of
that.
them.
It's the funniest fucking thing you've ever said.
I said plenty of funny
You say
things.
plenty of funny things, but that's the funniest thing you've ever said.
All right, speaker number 2, back for a second round. It's Ruby Innes, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Woohoo! Crush it.
Oh!
Nice.
Took the lift up. They can't be shushed. We can't be shushed.
It's a really long sound effect. I'm sorry. I have nowhere to
It's
shorten
making me
it.
nervous.
Hi,
Hi.
Ruby.
Take your glasses off for this one because your eyes go crazy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That'd be wild. No, hold on. Let me.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So anyway, video games. What are they?
What
Why
is
do we
that?
make them? What the hell is this? I don't know, but I'm about to find out. Just kidding, I made it. So this game right here is something that we've been working on for anywhere between 1 to 100 years. It's a game where you...
Can't fault that.
It's a game where you have a gun.
No.
It's a game where you do
No,
not
I
have a
wouldn't.
gun.
Correct.
But you kind of walk around with the kind of confidence of somebody who has a gun.
You sure do. You sure do.
You're a little guy.
I would say you fall into the little guy category.
You're a short person, but I don't think you're a little guy in your understanding of what
God,
a little guy is.
Just say it.
You're a good guy. You're a guy with sex appeal. You're a guy who knows what he wants and he knows how he's gonna get it. In a very specific game, maybe before or after this one, your uncle actually
She's fucking got it.
finds that he needs help conducting his work in a studio that makes a certain type of film.
What the fuck?
A certain
I can't
certain
work with you, Ruby.
sexy kind of film, and you gotta go and help him. But in the meantime, while you're helping him out, you're also finding all these beautiful, beautiful women to
I've never seen this.
have your way with, and I don't know which one it is exactly because I can't see the screen. It's right behind me, and as this is a presentation, and I don't like to look behind me.
Stiff neck.
I'm just looking at you all. Leisure Suit Larry, baby.
Yep. And you got it right.
It's box office bust.
Is it box office bust? That's like the main one I know. And I made this game.
How come the fact that he was short just immediately tipped you off?
It's wild. That is wild.
It was the gun comment. Like when you said he's confident. I was like, oh my
that could be
god.
anything.
And he's short and confident.
We have to rethink
Name another
games
short,
since
confident
bringing
character.
Yeah.
Conker. But Conker wasn't a flop.
I have no
Conker
concept
wasn't a
of
flop.
where I am at any given moment, let alone what the game behind me could be.
Well, you're gonna do it again, so good luck.
Okay.
Get up there.
Wow. I was like, I'm not even gonna really go with the clues for this one, and without even trying, Oh, I mean,
I think it's because I wrote it. I wrote something about it really recently.
I'm not surprised. Yeah,
so like, it's fresh in the mind.
Is this how you found Ruby's games though? It's like she's tweeted about them in the last.
Written about them?
I looked at multiple lists and was like, oh, this person might have heard or talked or
nice.
something about this and that. So maybe that's Steph's one. I can't remember. Let's see what's on the screen. Well, let's see Steph first of all. There she is, folks.
Hi.
Hi.
She came back.
All right, let's just do this.
Aw.
We've been working on this for a while, and look, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure we've really nailed it with this one, but maybe. It's just gonna find a niche audience. So who fucking knows? I present to you today this incredible feat of video game development. We've had both our A, B, C, and D team working on it in our different offices around the world to bring you this incredible sequel. No, it's a new title.
Spin-off?
It's a spin-off because we know how much you loved the central character of this franchise, and we thought maybe you'd want
Fucking left turn.
something completely different.
Yeah.
And we've really achieved that with this character. I'm gonna say a male protagonist because they all are.
Yes.
Accurate.
Yeah.
And he's kind of an anti-hero. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
he sure
kind of
is.
takes it upon himself to like fight crime and stuff.
No.
To like fight crime in a way that is kind of actually bringing about more damage to the world.
Not even that.
Crime's a weird word for
Fight is a word in itself that I wouldn't put with this guy.
I mean, like when I kind of frame it in that way, it sounds like he kind of is a vigilante, but actually what he is a pacifist.
Yeah.
He just likes talking to people.
Oh.
To himself.
To himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because yes, and with his internal monologue that's like constantly going, you kind of get a real sense for his personality and who he is as a guy.
Yeah.
And he likes to work alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure does.
And he has a range of weapons. No, fights with his fists.
Fights is a word I've really
he just
don't.
uses his hands to hang by his sides. He's really emo.
I'd say like
Wouldn't be aware of it, but yeah, I think on reflection, yeah.
Doesn't wear black.
Doesn't
wear much, yeah.
A naked guy.
A naked guy.
He uses hands and doesn't fight.
He's not naked.
He's not naked.
He's got a
runner, not
modest loincloth.
And he's a runner, not a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a hider, not a fighter.
He loves to run. He runs so fast.
He mostly crawls by what we're seeing behind you.
Yeah.
He's on all fours most of the time.
Why?
I don't know, that's your game, man.
Yeah.
I looked into your eyes and I thought you might have been thinking Sonic.
Well, I mean, because you talked about, Steph, you talked about the previous game, you thought of...
With his red
Sonic?
shoes?
The hedgehog?
No, because he's like an anti-hero and he's a guy that loves to crawl because he goes through small spaces, I guess.
Yeah.
He's
Gotta get
always,
away
like-
from all those scary things.
Yeah, he's in like tunnels and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Come this way, big step. Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
He's in like tunnels and stuff, and he's like trying to escape the central enemies of the world.
Yeah.
Which are
Or
creatures.
avoid. He's trying to avoid them for the most part.
Creatures.
Hidden creatures. He's on all fours, not wearing much. Like a loincloth.
And he's kind of a freak.
A little freak.
Kind of a little
he's
freak
pretty
ass.
freaky.
Oh.
He's a little freak.
Yeah, sure.
It's a bit sad.
Would we say like hails from Brazil?
What the? What?
Where is your head right now?
He does not hail from this earth.
Produces electricity?
It's not like Blanca. It's not Blanca. Hail.
Loincloth, all fours, Anti-hero.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Flop?
Isn't Blanca from Brazil?
Blanca's from Brazil, yeah.
Correct, but this isn't Blanca.
This isn't Blanca.
So
What are you giving the face for?
he's
He's not from this earth.
Imagine Blanca,
By the
but
looks
then
of
go
it.
and
the
he's a
polar-
little freak.
the polar
guy.
opposite.
Oh, yes. Okay, right. Yes. Okay, he is a pacifist, and he has, and gosh, I wish we could hear more from him, but it's difficult because his mouth is.
Here we go. Wait for it.
No.
Okay, no.
No, say it. Say it.
And all,
say
and all
it.
of his friends are like trapped, and he's trying to free them because
It's not Sonic.
no. And they're all enslaved, and he's trying to free them.
I would say that a character that you're describing is similar in a lot of ways
Okay.
to the one we're seeing behind you, but it is not Abe.
Okay. Damn it. Okay.
He's a little freak.
Not in.
A much
Anyway.
smaller freak, works alone, doesn't really works very like selfishly for its own goals, but isn't big and strong, and a lot of the other things around it are big and strong. So he's sneaking around, sneaking through holes on all fours, mostly nude, talks to itself a lot.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
Like, you know, it has its own goals,
Yeah.
has its own priorities. It thinks its priorities are more important than others. Its priorities are more precious than others. It's trying to get out that way.
Yeah.
We're talking in riddles, but I think the character would like that.
I think Steph's in the dark about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's really two sides to him.
What's in your pocket?
What's in your pocket? What's in your pocket?
It's more fun this way.
What's in your
Something
pocket?
in my pocket? Because that'd be cool. There's nothing in my pocket.
Oh, maybe check your hands.
Got it. Yeah. Listen, he loves shiny things, and when he was in his former life, he was a very different person, but you know, bad things happened to him and he became very obsessive. And once he fixated on a specific object, it became very hard for him to kind of move past that. And we really wanted to capture this central feeling with this video game about Golem.
Yeah.
Called Golem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The video game.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings Golem.
Lord of the Rings Golem came out
Yeah.
a few months back.
Came out. It flopped.
Missed it.
You released it.
It
It's
did
your
not
game.
go well.
You guys were probably away. Steph, you can come down.
We were away. We were away when it came out.
You guys were
Yeah.
away. It was such a big flop. So sad.
I don't
like,
see how it was ever gonna not be a flop. I don't know how people were talking about it like it was like,
a little part about it.
Like,
too.
nobody asked for it.
yeah.
It was such a game that nobody wanted.
No one
and
wants to play that
nobody asked
character.
for. I feel bad because, you know, like, I'm sure the developers worked as hard as they could on
Yeah,
it.
and they said, here's our little anti-hero from Brazil, and we want to take him.
Here's
to
our
the
little
storyline
here's
for
our little
game.
Brazilian
Where's
king.
our-
Sparkling with electricity.
Where's our origin story? Video game for Blanca. That's what I want to know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
How Blanca came to be.
Speed round.
We're going to do one more? Okay,
Speed round. Let's
Yeah.
go. Blanca was the scientist who blew up in the Street Fighter movie that I love and adore with starring Kylie Minogue.
Van
It's
Damme.
Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
No.
It's not that.
Go back, don't look at screens.
You just totally walked in front of
Peter,
it.
you flew in and flew out of there. Like,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I flew in and flew out because as in this game, I am a dragon.
No, you flew in
I'm-
and flew out like a man.
Yeah.
Like a
man
Superman on the Nintendo 64,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Ruby, you're up. Go.
All right.
These took a while to render out, so I'm not skipping them.
Yeah, fair.
Why are we doing them? We should just do it. This is
Hi.
cool.
Okay,
It's me.
Ruby.
I'm up.
Aw.
And it's a nice game. It's a nice little game.
It's so it's super nice.
You're nice?
It can be naughty and nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll stay on this one for a while.
Oh shit. Oh.
Oh.
I'm just like Santa Claus game. We're deciding to come for a bit of an older feel.
Deciding.
Yeah.
Go back to where you said deciding to come, and then
Is it a game that brings
and then
people?
that was the impetus for this game's
Is it
development.
another Leisure Suit Larry?
It's not.
No, but, you know.
But it's a game that brings people together.
it brings people together.
Yeah.
Like people physically together.
It brings people physically together. And it's not actually a video game.
Well, yeah.
It's mini games.
It's
It's a series of little games, yeah.
It's a series of It's a game based on a beloved character.
No.
No.
Oh no.
Do not love any of these
Not
games.
many of those
Okay.
motion controlled games were.
Nobody loves. Oh, it's not good.
I would want to make sure that you have adequate protection as well when playing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You want to put a rubber on for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the control.
On the remote.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's a game exclusively for the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a game exclusively for the Wii. It's made by us, Nintendo.
No.
No.
It is
Definitely
not made by us.
Hardcore third party.
Just joking.
Way more
it is
French than
made
that.
So by not us. It's recommended by us because we put it on our platform. Us as Nintendo, but we're presenting it. And it's heavy on motion controls and it's oh my god, I'm drawing blanks here.
Well, if gosh, like,
shooting
if
blanks
if
here
we all
even.
just wanted to get to know each other like really well, this would be a great one to like
It would.
invite a few people round and like
Yep.
you know
It's put on
some Barry
Take your
White
shirt
maybe.
off.
Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, that's rude. Come in. Come in. It's bloody rude of you.
TOS.
You might not know it.
Look, I think like if you would bring a bunch of people around your house to play this game. You might sit down, you might play.
I wouldn't dare.
I wouldn't dare either. I wouldn't play Truth or Dare.
Maybe the
You wouldn't dare on your own.
No.
But us together
But
as a group, would we?
We might dare.
He said no. Just
I
don't think Ruby knows what this game is.
Ruby, do you want to come down and sit down and look at what you've been missing? Quickly come have a look.
Can you full? Is there any way to full screen it? Oh my gosh.
Hey,
It was called We Dare.
wait, it gets better. It gets better.
It's a sexy adult party game for the Wii.
You're gonna see. And what you might have seen Peter and I reenacting was the spanking game.
Yeah.
The spanking game.
Spanking game.
This was reviewed on Good Game by Andrew Hansen and Barjo.
That's right, yeah.
And they did all of these things together,
Yeah.
and it was quite the sight.
And Andrew Hansen actually got nude.
Actually got completely naked on camera.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That was We Dare.
I have never heard of that game in my life.
So I struck out
man.
with. I got the other two you got.
The other
this
two nailed it. That one, I've
Amazing.
never heard of it in my life. Maybe
wild.
it's because I was a godly girl.
There it is.
I was a godly girl. I
Yeah,
did not
sure.
sin. I do not believe in sex, and
all.
I'm abstinence until I die. But that was the old me.
We Dare
now
wins that one.
I'm a fucked up slut.
Nice.
And that's how you got banned from Hog's Breath. Round.
Come on, let's go. I'm so sorry. That was not speedy.
No, the other two were so speedy
fine.
that we're all good. I just was like,
Yep.
I didn't
We
know
got time.
if people had the patience for this, but Steph, please take it away.
You're in.
What's up? I'm here. I'm headed to talk about this game. I'm so excited. Let's get straight into it. We got this character who has a gun
Yeah.
and loves to shoot stuff
Oh fuck yeah.
and is in the war.
No.
But is on an adventure because he's part of a big adventure franchise.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're trying to nail with this. The
Totally.
best title in this adventure franchise that is the highest peak of success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been several games before this one.
There have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we knew that this one would be a hit because we gave this character a cool outfit that
Yeah, it looks cool.
Oh.
and on this console in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. This was
You started developing it in the early 2000s, and you didn't release it for a long
yeah,
time.
you've been talking about this game for 7 years.
Sure, yeah. Would you say that I like to shoot guns and fuck girls? Would you say that that's something that I like to do? Because
I'd say
Are we
that.
talking? Sorry, is this about the game or is this?
me, specifically.
You.
And do you play? Oh God, this footage is not helping.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I would say that's something that you love to do.
Yeah, and I didn't want to disappoint fans because they love this franchise so much for some reason. And we really just felt like this guy, the peak of masculinity, deserved another game that we were working on for ages. And when it comes out, I know you're gonna love it. Because Duke Nukem is such a beloved character.
Oh yeah.
And this is the Duke Nukem game that came out at that time.
Forever.
Forever. Yep, that's it. Give that.
Good night, everybody.
Nailed it. Well done. You guys did really well. I'm always concerned that people just get stuck going, I've never heard of that. Weedo's the only one, and I'm glad you haven't heard of it.
Only one. Yeah. And it's crazy because I was a big Wii head.
There it is.
But that was just not one that was on my
anyone's ever
radar.
said.
I pinky sweared. I'm not going to say
Nor
anything.
has anyone ever said the phrase.
It was not on my radar.
Cancelled pop culture, the flop era. That's what that was.
That was a very smooth segue.
Just said it.
I think it's the gasp that makes it a wang. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, ready to plan your weekend games? AEW Fight Forever lets you create the pro wrestler of your dreams and then tag team, apparently. I'm told that's a wrestling thing. What? Tomb Raider on Switch? Okay, it's the isometric Lara Croft collection, but still. Oh, what time is it? It's crime o'clock with this multi-eras linked detective story. Everybody 1-2 Switch is giving me hardcore Squid Games vibes, if I'm honest. Like, why is that guy wearing a horse mask? Danganronpa fans will be keen on Master Detective Archive's Raincode out this week. Little friends, Puppy Island lets you dress your dog up like this, which is just animal cruelty at this point. Guys, who's excited for Power Wash Simulator SpongeBob SquarePants Special Pack DLC? Wait, this comment, how do you spray water when you're already underwater? Yeah! Alright, you can explain the science in the comments below.
Sick of being seen? Kamo. Want to hide in plain sight? Kamo. Want to spy on a deer? Kamo. Want to shoot those deer? Kamo. Want to get close enough to a pack of deer that you could dress up as a deer, gradually earn their trust, become accepted as one of their own, wait until the stag dies and inherit alpha control, guide that deer herd for a decade until you are their most celebrated deer elder, and then shoot that deer and mount it on a fucking wall? Kamo. Kamo camping equipment. You've seen the rest, now try and find the best. You can't, because it's Kamo.
We are almost out of words from our sponsors, which is one of the specific tiers we have on the Patreon.
I think the issue is like a sense of pressure that it has to meet a certain standard. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
Not enough pressure.
Sense of pressure. Sense of pressure. Sense of pressure.
Pressure.
Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. A sense of pressure.
Are we ready?
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thank you so much to Phoenix93 and ToxiChorg for those words from the sponsors. We saw an ad there for Kamo, and we saw the game plan. The game plan
Is this?
It's brought to us by Timothy Chu.
You're gonna get us banned.
Sorry.
Too sexy.
Spanking, is that sexy?
Too sexy.
Are you okay to that?
It was sexy because it was very intense the way you were doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't playful. You were just like deadpan and
Well, that's what makes it not sexy, right?
it felt
was
it felt
clinical.
like a secretary. You guys seen that movie?
Yeah.
A bit of
it was good.
David
I was going to do a
Spader.
little Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
Secretary.
I know, but what is a little Maggie Gyllenhaal?
I'm going to get a light stand and tie.
You just wear a tie around your neck.
Oh, I'm glad I came back from holiday for this.
The game plan is thanks to Timothy. Thank you, Timothy, for supporting the show. We're going to tell you a little bit about a Timothy in a different Timothy in honor of.
Thank yous.
Already done, mate.
I was so spanked.
You were
I
getting
couldn't- I'm
spanked.
so
while that was
sorry.
happening.
Crazy spanked.
You couldn't hear over the reverberations of blood being pushed from your cheeks up to your ears.
Please continue.
Timothy Chalamet, everyone, is an American and French actor. Can he be both? Yes.
Oui.
He has received various accolades, including nominations from an Academy Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards, and 3 BAFTA Film Awards. How can you get nominated for a BAFTA when you're not English?
Sorry, I'm somewhere else.
Okay.
You can because there are very specific BAFTAs for
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
His best known work includes the lead role of a love-struck teenager in Luca
Guadagnino, I think.
coming-of-age film Call Me By Your Name. Supporting roles in Greta Gerwig's films Lady Bird and Little Women, and starring roles as drug addict Nick Sheriff in the biological drama Beautiful Boy, Paul Atreides in Denis Villeneuve's science fiction film Dune, and a young cannibal in
Police Academy.
Guadagnino.
a romantic horror film Bones and All, which he also produced.
What about
Not very
good. The French Connection newspaper?
The French Dispatch.
French Dispatch.
Great
I liked
movie.
him in that.
He wasn't in that.
He's great.
He was in that.
Yeah.
He was in that. He was in that movie.
I know.
Okay.
Are you talking shit to me?
Always.
Oh, I was like, what?
Which is a precursor to the new segment called, Are you talking shit to me?
Yes.
You talking to me? Okay. Come on, don't bullshit.
God, so smooth.
Oh, that Pockety is evolving.
Pockety is like tanked,
Remember when I
man.
said I was going to get swole? Nah, Pockety beat me to it.
Yeah.
I thought that was a picture of you.
Come on. Don't bullshit
Come
me.
on. You're wearing the outfit. Are you talking shit to me is a little spin on kind of 2 truths and a lie, or,
3 truths and a lie.
3
That's what
truths
we're
and a
doing,
lie,
yeah.
many lies and 1 truth. Just a fun game that we're going to give a trial run today, and you guys can play along. We're going to be playing on the couch. But before I do that, it's brought to us by Nicrotex.
Hey.
Can't forget Nicrotex. Old mate Nick Belling. As customary with Nick Belling, we're going to read a tweet of his, and he says, when you're on the phone to your entire family, need to fart really bad, so you hit the mute button and let rip. And after an awkward pause and a horrified, shit, did I not press it? You realize you hit Discord mute button on your PC, not mute on your phone.
Ooh. So I don't know how registerable a fart is on a phone. Like, it's the speaker in front of your mouth. Like, I've farted on the phone and been like, do you reckon anyone heard that?
Yeah, but it doesn't have the noise cancelling of a regular microphone. So I would say it is more likely to be heard on a phone than it would from your like PC mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or if you do what most people do and just like bring it down.
Bring it down.
Yeah.
And then bring
What
it back
about
up.
in a car? Speaker car. Like, because speaker, you can kind of hear everything happen with traffic.
Leather seats, can hear it.
Ooh, yeah.
Well,
But like
based alone on like, you know, when like you're near someone who's in their car on speakerphone and like they've
can
put
hear
it through the car so you can hear everything.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be able to transmit a fart.
So you'd hear someone
From the
else
other end
farting
into
into
Someone
the
else
car.
farting into their car.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, you've stunk up the whole vehicle. How's that possible?
So, Nick, if anyone from your family was in the car at the time, please do apologize for
Yeah,
that.
you stunk up their car.
You stunk up
Somehow.
You stunk up their entire car. How
I
is
want to
that
know if
possible?
anyone in his family did hear it. Report back.
I think they would have. Otherwise, why would he have tweeted about it?
Because he was concerned about it. Like when I thought I
He's
started
an
myself.
entertainer.
He's an entertainer.
I reckon everyone went, what was that noise?
You gotta push my chair back. Fart.
Barking ants?
I was gonna make a fart. I just thought.
Fart.
Fart.
Thank you for not actually farting.
When you said
Fart.
I was about to say that was so lazy, but like I don't know what is more or less lazy.
Shoot
making
yourself
a
in
fart
the
noise
craft,
saying
Gus.
fart.
You and I get it, Ruby. Wing.
Oh, wink.
Wing.
So we'll have a poll in the chat, and you guys can guess. This will be at the end of the segment. You guys will guess who you think was lying. One of us is about to lie. We have given ourselves a kind of leading line
Prompt.
to a prompt for a story that we're each going to tell. These things are all true, except for one of them. And that leading sentence is: the worst thing I've ever done to get my hands on a game.
And we should.
That's pretty open-ended. We're going to let everyone tell their story. We're going to give ourselves on the couch an opportunity. We don't know who's lying.
Josh picked.
Josh has told one of us to lie, and we don't know who that is. It could be me. But it's not.
Fart.
Could be.
So the leading sentence was, the worst thing I've ever done to get my hands on a game. You'll tell your story. Each of us on the couch here will get to ask that person one question.
Cross-examine.
Just a little bit of cross-examination. Obviously, there'll be questions in chat as well. And we might pull a couple from there, but you'll also get to vote at the end on who you think was lying. We'll start with you, Ruby. What's the worst thing you've ever done to get your hands on a game?
I wasn't sure if I should say this, but I realized that I can't actually get in trouble for it now because one, I don't work there anymore, and
Statute
two,
of
it's been
limitations.
so many years. like I can't get in trouble. So it's fine. So I worked at a certain video game retail store for about 4 years. And when I worked at that video game retail store, immediately said in the chat, I won't say where it is.
We don't have.
There's one of them in Australia.
We don't have that many.
I wonder which one. But I worked there for 4 years, and when I was working there, Fallout 4 came out. And the Fallout 4 Collector's Edition had a replica Pip-Boy. And I thought that was really, really cool. And I remember for the midnight launch, we took one out of the box and I wore it. And we were all dressed up. It was really neat. And I thought it was really cool. And so I wanted it, but I didn't put a pre-order down. And we'd already been allocated stock. And I didn't... we'd already been allocated stock. And... So, I can't get in trouble. So basically what I did was I decided...
You can't just say I can't get in trouble and then say I committed this crime.
It wasn't a crime. It wasn't a crime. It was naughty and it probably would have gotten me fired at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But like what I did, because I wanted it but I didn't pre-order, was I canceled somebody's pre-order and put the $50 onto something else. And then I called them up and said that they'd sent us one less.
No.
And then I can get it transferred
God, I
in.
hope it's a lie.
I can get
If it's a lie, it's a very elaborate one. So could be a truth, or it could be a bend on a thing that has actually
we kind
happened.
of said like not too much half truths in this.
We should
Like,
we should
No
preface this
bending.
by saying that none of us know. Did we say that already? That none of us know.
Yep.
But
But it's
Josh,
worth reiterating.
Josh had to text all of us
at the same time.
At the
so
same
we all looked at our
time.
phones.
if we were going to be the person telling the truth or the lie, so that we could all hold the little secret close
Ruby, do
to
you
our
still
chest.
have the Pip-Boy?
Oh yeah, of course. Why would I give it away?
I don't know, it's just one of those
It's
things.
awesome. It's cool. You can put your phone in it.
I didn't ask.
Because there used to be a
I was going to ask if you felt any remorse, but it doesn't sound like it.
no. I got it transferred in.
It's so
I
fucking
got one
cool.
transferred in, and the thing is, I didn't have to worry about it because I ended up quitting like a few weeks later.
Did you try to compensate the person in any way, or were you just like, life?
The money was still in the account. It was just put
dreams
on
that
something
were shattered.
else.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm really sorry, but we can get one transferred in for you. It just might take a little bit longer.
Sure. Okay. So
They
still got their collector's
edition, just not
edition.
on day one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Victimless crime.
A victimless crime.
Yeah. But like still Kind of
Big Bethesda
shitty.
still
And
got
not
their paycheck.
allowed. Very not allowed.
Yeah.
Dante's is like, that's why I never got my Pip-Boy.
I feel bad about it now, but like at the same
sure.
time, like that. The thing is, that's the worst thing I've done, and I
Yeah.
still made sure they ended up getting something.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's not so bad. I have no follow-up questions.
No, neither.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, I believe
What
you.
a tight case.
Stephanie, Ben Dixon.
Yes. Okay. So I was thinking about this because I've been pretty fortunate in my life to get given a lot of games for free.
Yeah.
So there aren't heaps of scenarios in which I have had to do something to get a game that I didn't want to do. But in this one instance, I agreed to participate in a film, a very bad film. Not that kind of film.
Okay, sorry.
Not a
Just the way that you built it up. Was
I know. We'd all know about it by now.
yeah.
I agreed to participate in a film, and it didn't pay anything. It was like exposure, but the guy, I don't know, it was like, they were like, we sourced financing from like some like random place, and we're kind of just like, you know, trying to pull this thing together, but we've got a really great script and like, you know, great equipment and stuff like that. And it was a small part, but he was like, I can't pay you for it. And I was like, that's fine. And then we were like chatting about what our interests were and stuff like that. And he was like, have you played this new video game called Elder Scrolls Oblivion? And I was like, no, but that sounds awesome. And I just recently got an Xbox. And he was like, well, I got a 360 pirated copy right here, and a little thank you, yours. And I was like, I'll take it. Awesome. So the first time I ever played Elder Scrolls Oblivion was on a pirated copy that I got from the guy that made this terrible film that I was in. And the film never came out, thank Christ, because it was awful.
But also first question. Was that console modified,
chipped
to read pirated copies? Because there was disk protection.
It was.
I see.
Did you own other pirated games?
No.
How did you get a chipped console?
My neighbor, who has like every console ever, but was like on top of all that stuff.
He knows that.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Chat, anything from
Interesting.
chat? The jury?
Good save, liar.
And it was the Hello Kitty Xbox, and I got it from my uncle who works at Xbox.
My uncle is Nintendo. Angus, Jeffrey, Bruce.
The very same.
The third.
The worst thing I've done to get my hands on a video game was I used to frequent a video game store and hire them. So we used to be able to do that. And they also had, they also
He's already going red.
They also allowed you to buy them, and they had X rentals, and they also had new copies, and they were on the other shelf on the other side. And I'd go there and rent them all the time. And often, it was back in the 360 era, there would be a bunch of 360 games, and staff at this, I want to say Video Easy, I can't quite remember, would go around and slap stickers on the games being like, it was $80, it's now 20, or it's now 30, or it's now 10. And they'd put these big red stickers on them. And I, at the time, really wanted BioShock. And I would go in there and hire games. And this one time my friend and I went in there and we saw they had stickers on the games and they had BioShock there. And it was like, it had been out for a while, but it was like $89.99. I was like, it's been out for like 6 months or something. It shouldn't be that. They're getting the price wrong.
Yeah.
And I walked around and then I saw Rockstar's Table Tennis for $15 with a big sticker that was kind of, I was like, well, I'll walk around with that for a while as I look at other things, and I pick, and I picked away at the sticker, and eventually the sticker came off and I popped that back and I went, I do like BioShock, and then on went the sticker, and I walked up to the counter and I was like, I'm just gonna get this one. Anyway, being an idiot, they scan it and they're like, beep, beep. And they're like, this is $89. But they used to just look at the sales sticker and go, and type the price in. And this person was like, they looked at it, they're like, it's that one, beep, beep, beep. And I was like, so it should just be the sales price on the sticker. They did it. I think something still went like, no, it's $89.95. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they're like, I'm sweating it out. And they're like, I'll just go check. I'm like, fuck, I'm just going to run now. I was like, anyway, they went to check. Someone came up and said, what's the problem? Oh, this one says 30. He goes, yeah, that's right. It's fine. little card around the thing. Beep, beep, 30. I was like, thanks very much. Walked out of there. What did I say, 30 or 15?
15.
15. That's actually not the lie. I know it sounds
Can't
like
even
it.
get his story straight.
Wait, so you are the liar is what you're saying?
No.
What store was this?
It was Video Easy, or I think it was a Video Easy.
Like a video store that was selling
It was
off its old
15.
games.
I think there was 15, 30s, and 50s. That's what I was saying before. And I put the 15 sticker on, and I was panicking because I think I should have put the more expensive one on. But I put the 15 on it, and I got BioShock 1 for $15.
I believe that purely because
That's so
after working
something
in
you would do.
games retail for 8
I knew
years.
if I told a lie, people would be like,
People like, "You make me
That's
sick."
something you would do. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the truth.
I know, but it's because you told us that you sold a friend a game
Pilot Wings.
for
Yeah.
a higher price
That's the
than
worst
you
thing I've
paid
done to
for
get rid
it.
of a game.
So now it's like,
You sold Pilot Wings at a
64.
profit to a friend?
I bought it for like 40 and I sold it to him for like 95.
This is a sick fuck over
You
here.
you're
We're still
what is-
friends.
Oh my god!
That's not what I'm on trial for at the moment.
Okay,
thank you.
okay.
It's the 1530 discrepancy. That's what
That
I'm on trial
sounds-
for.
That does
Yeah.
actually sound very bad. I'm sorry I fumbled on that one, but it was
I'm just
15.
impressed that because like when I worked at the games place I worked at after the one that I worked at before. I don't know why I'm hiding it. I'm worried I'll get in trouble.
Because you're lying.
But the thing is, I when I worked at JB Hi-Fi, I had people try and do that, try and take the sticker off, and then you know put a cheaper one on, and they bring it up and be like, so it's $10, right? And we're like, I can see where you've taken it off.
Video game store, totally. Video like video store where it's mainly hires and some purchases.
when they're selling off those old rentals, I do believe that could happen where they just be like type the price in.
Well, that was why I had the confidence to do it. I would never have done it like a JB or something because their system would say no, this costs this much, but they didn't know how much.
Especially because they're not they don't trade on sales typically, and so it's like
it's late fees.
So this was a rental copy of BioShock.
No, it was a new
a
copy.
new copy.
You could buy new copies of Video Easy.
Wait,
Yeah.
it's not an X rental?
No, it wasn't. But they had X rentals and new copies. And this was a
Really?
new one. Yeah, they had the new ones for more.
Gus,
for the
I only
full
have one
price.
question.
Please.
Are you lying?
I am not Peter Burns. They had new games and they had X rentals, but X rentals weren't often.
Hey, it's a good question.
I like talking about this because it's a moment in my life. The X rentals often weren't that generation. They were like Xbox were X rentals and like dirty rated covers. New Xbox 360 at the time were only new games and they were full priced. But I put the sticker on from. Clearly, they had 50 copies of Rockstar Table Tennis.
Yeah.
They had so many fucking copies of that game. No one wanted it.
Weird.
That's my
Alright.
story, Peter.
Okay.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Yep. My story. December 1st,
Oh god.
All right.
2002. The Christmas tree goes up. It's a beautiful thing. Presents start appearing under the tree. Pop up.
You're already working too hard.
Yeah. Just say you're lying, man.
Just say the lie. Presents went on the Christmas tree. Early December. Mum was always on top of that. Now, my dad was a pilot. He was away half of my childhood. And when he was away, Peter would play. Now,
Oh my god.
Mum was pretty okay with it, but she had a line as well. And opening a Christmas present early. Okay. And early December, Dad went on a trip. Mum was keeping herself busy. And I snuck down to the Christmas tree. I found a package that was a video game. I thought I knew which video game I was going to get for Christmas. I took the package. I tactfully unstickied it.
Much like someone peels off a sticker.
Much
from
like someone peels off a
sales
sticker.
from a video game.
I took the game out. Mum must have gone out for the day because I played this thing for a couple of hours. It
64?
was. I don't know if it was. No, it was.
Always panicking.
I don't know the year. I said 2002 because I thought it'd be funny, but I was definitely like early teens, and it was original Xbox, and it was the NRL game.
Lee Carvello's putting challenge.
It was kind of that. It was the NRL game. So I played like
NRL game.
the first rugby league game on Xbox.
That does seem like a mum choice. Like, oh, he'd
love that.
He'd love
It
that.
actually was.
My
it actually
boy
was
will
fucking
love that.
sick. But I played that for a couple of hours. I slipped it back in, sealed it up, put it away.
Oh my god.
You thought you knew what game it was? Was it?
Yeah, it was the NRL game.
Okay, you said.
Yeah, I thought that's what she got.
So you
And
weren't surprised when you opened it?
No. I went to play that game.
Okay.
I played it for a couple hours. I put it back. The cream on the story is that like Dad came back. Josh,
we dare.
That was Nat. Nat lost it at cream.
There can be other types of cream on story.
Cream on the story? That's not a saying.
He loved that game.
The cream on the story.
Yeah. Now I've said it. It is a thing.
Stop talking about my film.
Dad came back. No one was any the wiser. Dad went away again before Christmas, and this was on like the 20th or the 22nd of December now. Mum was like, go on, play it early. And I was like,
really?
Wow. Peter had the telltale NRL game under the tree. Like, oh my God.
So I played it.
Did you boot it up and was she watching? Were you like, wow,
It's
never
so
seen this?
new.
Everything's so great.
I never thought you could do this before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any questions?
They all seem very plausible,
Did
don't they?
you pull it up and it was like, you are level 30?
Welcome back, Peter.
Amazing the technology these days.
When did you tell them this story?
I don't think I have. But
Really?
but they totally wouldn't care.
I would say there is a lie here. And it's a little porky pie you told to your mother.
Ooh.
Okay. I didn't ever lie directly, but by omission, sure. I snuck a gameplay session in, and then, and I didn't tell her that I'd already done it when she said you can open it early.
Did you pretend to be like surprised about the game?
It's pretty,
maybe
it would be
in like
pretty
a
easy
young,
in the like
young teen
song
way.
and dance of Christmas Day. Oh, cool,
Yeah.
lovely. Like, it's not. Yeah, I don't mind defending you. I'm just like, you're a monster.
That's the worst thing anybody could ever do.
All right.
Any other questions? No?
No. It's
All right,
pretty
let's
straightforward story.
Pretty straightforward story.
Yeah.
Let's get a poll up then.
Mods, can we get a poll up in chat with
Interesting.
the 4
I thought
options,
someone would
please?
clearly drop the ball here and go like, and
Yeah,
then-
like when you mixed up your $15, $30 stickers.
The weird thing is,
That's
we talked
something
about this
that I
before.
would mix up though.
We talked about this before. There's no incentive for actually like throwing someone under the bus. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
didn't come up with a point system, so it's literally like
Yeah.
you don't win
Who
for
lied?
pretending you lied and
Yeah.
then getting away with
I
it.
love that we also don't know. This is a great way to do it.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Well, we know you did. You lied. But
We know that
that's
you were the
not
liar.
game. The game is pretending you didn't know who lied.
Yeah.
console.
Yeah, I definitely am probably the most sus on you still, Steph.
Interesting.
Yeah, I am too.
We'll see what chat
But also,
thinks.
I feel like you've maybe told me that.
Told
before.
You did a
story
little, but I don't know if you're
before.
in cahoots. You did a little.
We're not in
like,
cahoots.
You
We're
went
not in
chipped
cahoots.
console. She did have one.
No, I didn't know that. No,
Polls up.
Polls
and
up. Which
Steph.
host
Live updating. Live updating.
Which host has lied? Pete,
people
is
think so.
Ruby? Ruby's 4%.
Yeah, Ruby's only got
5%.
5% of the vote. I'm a little more, so Ruby's the safest at the moment.
People
the
sus-
most
people-
trustworthy.
People pretty sus on Gus.
Because I think you're the most trustworthy because you said the thing that would make more people think less of you.
True.
Like you said the most like heinous thing.
I kind of did. But like, I also made up for it, so I feel like it's
Totally.
fine.
Make
There
like
was
it
a
would
redemption
literally
arc
like
in there.
giving them
Fucked up.
and
There was a
then
redemption
something.
arc
in
They
there.
just got the thing they wanted just
They
later.
got the thing they wanted. It was just later.
Totally.
And then
Totally.
I
Making up
also
for
got
it.
the thing I wanted.
I was quietly shocked until I realized that you just got them another one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, it's not that bad.
no, it's not.
No.
And then I hate
And
that I'm up
honestly,
there. And
I
everyone's-
thought you were all going to say worse ones. So I'm feeling really bad right now.
I love that everyone's like, yeah, Gus did that. What does that say about me?
But Sekne's got a good point. Gus was too eager to offer details, which is a good sign of lying.
like
No,
storytelling.
but that's
You do
Gus.
have- you
that's
are a
Gus.
very
He
detailed
loves
storyteller.
Gus.
Gus loves
Spoil,
to
Yeah, I
talk.
don't know.
weave a tale of
Yeah.
Yeah. Steph, who are you most sus on out of all of us?
Like, I'm not sus on any, like all of you. I like genuinely believe. I'm like maybe sus on Ruby because I can imagine that being something that happened to someone else maybe, and you've co-opted that story. Like it seems super plausible, but like I also know that you could have easily like lifted that story from someone else that you worked with or something like that, and maybe
did get fired.
yeah,
No,
and maybe
but
that
I know
didn't happen
people
to
who got
you.
fired for like way worse stuff. But that
told
was
us about
unfortunately a
someone,
me. And the thing is, I think there was a part of me that was like, I wore it, so I feel like I should keep it.
Sure.
You got
Yeah.
a chipped 360 console from a neighbor?
No, so her.
I'm asking her, Peter.
Yeah, sure. But she didn't get the console. It would have been at his house.
What do you mean?
The console?
The console was mine.
Oh.
He hooked up the chip though.
Ah. That's what they called it back then.
I had a chipped console.
Yeah.
She's at the top of the
That's
board.
We have a
Most people think
top
Steph
of
is
the
lying.
board.
Interesting.
All right.
Votes?
If you lied.
Hang on. I have a reveal.
What?
I have a.
Oh, he's got a reveal.
I got a reveal in the show.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Are we all ready?
Yeah.
Is this Among Us? We all get one by one? What?
Yes! What? Amazing!
Oh my god.
You son of a. And you were the least suspected.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You were so right. It was a story where she like threw herself under the bus, and everyone was like, "That
I made that freaking shit up.
Yeah.
Entirely
Wow. All of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it all up.
That's amazing.
The only thing I didn't make up was that I worked the midnight launch and I wore the Pip-Boy, but I didn't do any of that shit. That would be awful. I would get so fucking fired.
Yeah.
How would I make the fucking call to a customer?
I'm a little bit relieved, I have to say.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
we have.
I feel better about sitting next to you now.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, but suddenly the trapdoor opens over the three of us. It's like, oh, remember that shit thing the three of you did?
I lied to my mother.
I lied to my mother. I didn't even like Bioshock.
Also, I'm pretty sure
it was.
I'm pretty sure the collector's edition was like stupid expensive. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the early days of being.
Yeah.
I mean, and Bethesda were the masters of it early on as well, having ludicrous collector's editions. Like, $350, you got the Skyrim, the dragon on the statue kind of thing, on the Rocky.
The
outcrop.
remote RC car with the camera for COD, the night vision goggles
Yep.
was just like bigger
Yep.
and
Yep.
stupider.
Yep.
This was a roaring success, I think.
Yeah.
Your story seemed so you because it seemed like it just, and particularly in the way that you told it, and you seemed really proud of, and it's something that you'd be so proud of
Yeah.
that you fucking nailed
You
that
stole
bargain.
something and then showed it off to too many people.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I got caught.
Yours seemed believable because I can so imagine your parents buying you the NRL game.
Yeah.
That's the detail.
That was
Yeah,
so
I don't know what it was.
so
Like, if
real.
it was like, oh, it was like a Halo or something like that, I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
sure, everyone knows he plays it. But that's like a
NRL
specific
on
detail that I'm like, oh, yeah.
Xbox One?
Yeah.
It was the original Xbox,
Xbox,
yeah.
original Xbox.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I genuinely fumbled over the dollar sign. I was like, it was 15, and I said 30. I was like, oh no, I've like fumbled my lie. But I was like, I actually just said the wrong thing, and I do that all the time.
We want to know more about the movie, Steph. The movie was called Braille. You can, if you go to my IMDb page, I think it's actually on there. It was never released. It was a film that was shot. I don't know where they got the money from, but it was awful. I think I've actually spoken about it on this show once before because
never heard you
I
mention
played a
this.
nurse who the central protagonist was a blind guy who got involved in some crime ring and was trying to atone for various sins, and my sister or something died, and I met him at a cafe, and he's like, and he was trying to tell me that he was sorry for the death of my sister, and I said, oh yeah, well then you should just get a knife and make one cut for every year that I've lived without a sister. Woo. That was my line. Woo. It was so bad.
Chills.
And
fucking chills.
And it was just
It's
like
that bad.
It was so awful. So I'm
Wow.
glad it never came out.
We have to find it.
I think they had a screening of it at like Hoyt's in like a little
Amazing.
private sort of screening cinema thing. But yes, I did have before I got my my 360 that I used at Good Game. The first 360 I had was a console that I got from my neighbor, and then he was like, I'm getting mine chipped. Do you want me to get yours chipped? And I was like, sure, I don't know. And I never played any pirated games on it, but
Except for one you were
except for
handed.
the one that I was handed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And it
Your
was
Honor?
Oblivion. Yeah.
Okay. This was.
I'm just impressed that I was at the very
That's
bottom.
insane.
Yeah.
I got the
finally
least
never
amount of
nailed
votes.
it.
I didn't doubt you for a second. I was like, yeah, that holds up.
I think
Holy
it's
crap.
just because I've got truth-telling eyes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Next time it can be a positive thing. It doesn't have to be a negative prompt. That was
Yeah.
based off the prompt saying something bad. Next time if we play this again, it can be like the nicest thing I've ever done. to get my hands on the game.
the nicest
Gus
thing
is just
I've
trying to
ever
get brownie
I
points back.
saved 8 kittens.
Yeah.
That's a good segment.
It worked well.
Yeah,
That was a segment.
amazing.
That is.
You talking
shit?
Don't bullshit me.
Come on. To me?
Dylan, you
He's
son
so
of a
happy. He
bitch.
looks so happy. He's such a himbo.
That was you talking shit to me. That's the end of the show. We got to read some credits. Steph, I believe you're going to take the lead on the credit read.
I haven't done the credits in ages.
That's
But
what we're thinking.
before we talk about the credits,
Of course.
we should talk about something else Steph related, something Steph film related.
Oh, yes.
Segue.
Listen, it's not Stephanie's film. Stephanie's film will happen. Stephanie's film will happen. But can I offer you a different film?
Sure.
We had the opportunity with Red Bull to create something that kind of was like a little bit of a, I guess, biographical look at my career, which was kind of awesome.
Because you're a Red Bull ambassador?
I'm a Red Bull
Is that-
ambassador. yeah.
Are you a Red Bull athlete?
I'm a Red Bull player.
Player, there it is.
We were called Red Bull athletes for a while, and then I would turn up to Red Bull events, and like they'd be like, "So, it says here you're a Red Bull athlete. What sport do you play?" And I was like, "Video games."
Oh, yeah.
A wingsuit.
Video game.
What's your highest summit?
Video game.
I participated in an athlete summit, and and it was so funny. It was like me, Paladin Amber, I Am Fall from Grace, and Lachlan, the like Fortnite guy.
Yeah.
And we were like the only 4 gamers amongst all of these like pro snowboarders and athletes and stuff like that. And they were just like, you know, and when you're out there and you're like pushing hard to
Shredding.
like get those wins and stuff like that. And you know, the gamers also, when you're like, you know, playing the games, you know, you really need to try and get your head in the game and really think about how you can kind of marry that physicality with, you know, your mental state and stuff. We were like,
I got the crown in Fall Guys.
Sometimes my hands hurt if I play too long.
it was so funny. But yeah, so Loki kind of put this film together. You may have seen us filming a little bit of it at PAX actually, because the whole kind of, I guess, film centers around my experience in the video game industry.
Film's a stretch.
Kind of, well, what are we calling it? Piece? Short piece?
Content.
Filmed piece.
It is a mini doc.
Mini doc.
Mini doc.
The little mini doc kind of shows my sort of journey through the industry. And I guess I kind of wanted to land it at where I sort of found my home, which is kind of immersed in the community in a really positive way. So that's kind of the central theme of it. Cool. And we're gonna put it on YouTube tomorrow, and we're gonna do a YouTube premiere at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night.
Nice.
AEDT. So I'd love it if you could join me. We can all watch it together, and I'll be in the chat and stuff.
I think we're back
Link's
to
pinned in the chat right now.
It's pinned in there.
It's pinned in the chat.
You can click the notify.
We're checking it up on the Back Pocket YouTube channel. So yeah, that'd be really cool.
Here's a short teaser.
Oh, there's a teaser.
Ah.
It looks really sexy. I like it. You guys did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, gaming isn't even something that came easily to me in the beginning. I had to really chase it down. And I definitely never imagined it would become so entirely core to who I am in the best possible way. Yay!
There it is.
Your
so
Honor,
you'll
she's
be
slaying.
you'll be on the chat. I'm gonna watch along as well. Yeah, come along if you can and watch it with us. Chat away in the comments. It's fun.
It's exciting to see it out in the world because we shot a bit at PAX last year, and so a bunch of faces from the community are in it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I've spoken about my like journey in various forms, but I've never really seen it kind of put together in such a kind of beautiful way that sort of charts, I guess, the various people that I've worked with and the experiences that I've had in that way. So it was actually kind of like cool and a bit emotional to
It was
watch.
nostalgic for us. We got to put together and look at all the stuff.
Yeah, there's
that
cool
you
like
did and-
archival footage and stuff in there. And
But like also from a perspective of somebody who like, you know, watched you as not a kid, but like a younger person, like seeing you, something like that, it's like you deserve it. You are such a huge part of like Australia's video game media world. That like
Thanks, man.
getting to see your shit, it's cool.
Rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Middo, Red Bulls are great docs. So
May
yeah.
I say fart?
Fart, poo poo wee wee. Anyway,
Someone pointed out as well, it is the origin of the CRT.
Oh,
That's
why we
reason
bought
we
the
got
CRT.
Yeah.
That's true.
To film
CRT,
some archival footage of it.
The new character on the set, I would say.
It's
yeah.
yep, gone from win to win. So thanks to Red Bull for helping us put that together. Check it out tomorrow. It'll be heaps of fun. But then this was heaps of fun because it's the show. It's done.
Show that we love to do.
It's a show we love.
And it's a show we couldn't do without all of our incredible supporters, particularly our supporters on Patreon, who make the show possible. I'm going to thank those people right now because they deserve a little extra back pocket love. I want to say thank you so much to the mods: Gat, Syntax Error, Dahlia, Sithcat, Phoenix O'Lion, Disturbed778, Jex, Caboose, What the Shark, Snail XD, Lord Shadowmark.
It's not a fun one, guys.
Yeah,
it's a
I was gonna
genuine
say,
one.
can you
We'll go a little higher.
Or maybe just start as low as possible and build up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pitch up every time.
Godspeed Wrangler, Dumb Daze, A Purist Baker, Honey Bun Bun, Bot Lubricator, We Are Robots, Foot Severer, Mob Captain, Costume Department, Orinishi, Remover of Foot from Gus's Mouth, Babbling Boffin, Milliner for Williner, Snail XD, Back Pocket Legal Tea, BuriBuri.
Can you sound a little sad, but you don't want to say why you're sad?
Still high pitch.
But you still sound sad?
Bloody groomer. Going mate. Best good boy is it's Jet.
Your sister's dead. Blind guy.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Bad boy. Little spy boy and Boxy boy is Boxy. So
Yep.
Scotty Burrito is Bifrus and Scotty Fingers.
You just won a 5-set tennis match.
Pitch Perfect is MiddleCee and Cable. You know, Peter's cable guy is Wolsey, of course, and oh wow, designer of worlds is A Timothy, community hot boy. Nicrotex, wow. His hot boy is Coastal City, wow. Remover of Sass is definitely Sassless. House Band is Muso for Hire. Dinosaur supervisor is Phil Tippett, and Bird supervisor is Loki Cat. Oh my gosh, you guys, thank you so much.
It's a really
110%.
Match.
And speaking of Loki Cat, coming up next, we've got the post show, which is sponsored by Loki Cat. Oh, swing. Should I get my meat out?
Seatbelt off.
Loki Cat, who is a lover of fine scotch and cocktails. So each week we describe him, but in the style of some wanky tasting notes. And this week, I'm a freaking read.
Do it.
You can read it.
Can we get some mood? Yeah, let's get some mood.
Bit of music?
Warm and inviting. A bright, fruity note welcomes you. Depth, complexity, knowledge, and balance. The confidence and intuition used to guide this spirit is handed from one generation of the next. The choices made through the years of maturation and with unrivaled provenance, never to be repeated. Thank you, Loki Cat! Hey! And that's our freaking show. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, especially those of us who support us on Patreon. You can support us on Patreon if you like. If you don't already, no freaking pressure. But yeah, if you like what we do, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your enemy. Message someone you hate and go, fuck you, sucker.
Yeah, we'll take
Watch Back Pocket.
We'll take haters.
Yeah. You know, we'll take haters. We love it. But, you know, you can head to Back Pocket GG for all our links to everything. The Discord, our socials, our Redbubble store. You know, you can buy a funny freaking shirt or something. And we'll be back the exact same time next Thursday as we always are, 7 p.m. And for those of you who are in our sexy little Back Pocket tier, we'll see you soon for the Back Pocket post show.
Oh, yeah.
But for now,
Fart.
love yous. Bye.